So,
Mordred is almost dead, and I'm wounded too.
I
I
am.
have 16 HP.
I'm also on 9 hit points and
let's do
sickened
hit
and
points
wounded.
conditions. We've got 9 hit points, sickened, wounded. How many hit points?
6 hit points, wounded too.
Lovely. Bigby, how you doing?
42 out of 60.
Oh, that's right, because you just ran off.
I can't remember
16.
what's called.
16. All right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did run off. Oh, that's right. That
You
was
took the potion.
that was the stupid creatures.
Fantastic. So, some
And
of
you
us looking better than
fireballed
others.
me.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I was on like 10 hit points, and
It
you're like,
would've
Oh, that makes me feel better for fireballing him.
yeah,
on
that's
Tuesday.
why I'm like, this is revenge.
Do it! Do it now!
It would have
It actually only did like 6 damage to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she just rolled really badly.
Yeah.
So, last session
sorry.
we met old Mother Hubbard, last session we met Miss Hubbard, an old haggish mother, and Sundrance Prepper. You actually summoned to one of her stashes. She had, food, materials, that sort of thing, all in big barrels, loaded up, ready to go. You had a lovely night, sitting with her, drinking, sharing stories, learning bits and pieces. She told you about the Fey Trails, passages that connect parts of the world to each other very closely. The particular one that she told you about connects one of the old temples in Go Back to a place called Pebble Creek, an underdark city underneath the Reams, as well as one of the places in... What's that place called?
Port Newer.
That's right, Port Newer, thank you. In Avalon, and one of the far northern settlements in Camelot.
I think Margate.
That sounds about right, yeah. Margate, Fargate, something like that. To get there, you had to go to an old sunken temple. Sorry, pardon me. 2 seconds to open that up. Wonderful. You found your way there. There was some flotsam and jetsam debris floating around in the water in the ruins of this flooded part of the city, which turned out to be a lot less rubbish and a lot more living creature determined on eating you all. You had quite a bit of a fight getting through there, but you managed, reaching to that sunken, fallen over temple of the mother and father. We will start right in that temple just before we go into the actual Fey Trail itself. But before, we'll do hero point questions. So, who is a character who is a bit of a role model, a bit of a mentor for your character sometime in the past? Might have been someone they knew personally, might have been someone they just heard of, that kind of thing. If you don't have a particular character in mind, just sort of like a vibe is good too. E, you were talking about one.
Yeah, Mordred's mentor was Galahort, who was Galehort, who was his trainer when he trained with the Knights of Camelot, who was a very kind, patient man, and the first father figure in Mordred's life after he ran away from Morgana. But he had to run away from there as well.
For Big B,
Yeah.
I think he didn't get into the detective stuff until after the dramas with the these guys, the Hogsons, went down. So, when he had to leave that town is when he ran into an old mentor who was another detective who started to teach him the ways and took him in and really started to connect him with some people because he was starting to drift into retirement, kind of wanted to pass on the knowledge before.
I love that. That's really fun. Mentor. We're going to call him Poirot.
I was thinking Poirot. I just couldn't remember the name for a second. Yes, I was thinking that it's,
I have no idea how you spell that, but I'm going to spell it.
P-O-I
P-O-I
R-O-T.
R-O-T.
Poirot,
Poirot.
as is clearly pronounced.
Thank you very
There's
much.
a little less sense. Alden Farrell, looking to retire. I like that. That's good fun.
For you? You're up. Yeah. So, early on in his life, he knew who not to be, rather than necessarily had a single role model. It was like, I don't want to be like that person, I don't want to be like that person. Very rebellious in that sense. Like, that's a bad way to live life, kind of thing. But after the academy and going on the magical university, hearing all the tales of Merlin and and all those sorts of things, he realised that not all powerful people do the wrong thing, and that you can, use that for good. So that was kind of his guiding light later on.
Nice.
And before we find out that Merlin's twisted and is like a horrible person.
You don't want to, yeah.
That would be deeply tragic. You pass on down to David.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Drizella.
Drizella's mentor was a senior medicaster called Thornwell Vale. That's Vael for the purposes of the wiki.
Thornwell Vale.
Thornwell Vale, and he was the first and is probably until possibly recently the only person that didn't see Drizella as some kind of cursed sort of creature. He didn't necessarily see her as anything better. He kind of saw her as more as somebody who had been perfectly shaped by pain and suffering to therefore understand pain and suffering. So
Terrifying.
he was a thing. So he kind of took her under his wing because he believed that she was a vessel capable of making pain useful.
He sounds like a lovely man.
Yes, philosophy, like your scars are your qualification. Yes, an excellent approach to medicine in its general format.
Through your own suffering, you will alleviate that of others.
So, the more you suffer, the better qualified you are.
Your wounds are where the light enters you.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Goodness me. Nice.
You don't find true happiness without first knowing true pain.
Yeah. He was all of those kind of vibes. Yeah.
I love it. That's really good fun.
I know.
Awesome.
This is Drizella's wiki page.
That was pretty
So
fun.
next time I'm not just leaving people behind.
Or-
Yeah, together.
I can just find a recipe for it and make it.
That would be fun. I am going to say, at this point, unless you are, like, locked in a dungeon or, far away, because we are, almost always we're in a town anyway. As long as we're in town, you're welcome to just buy whatever you like. As long as it's your level or lower. You've got a ton of gold, you've got, access to all these items. Pathfinder actually balances the prices, so I don't need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're welcome to.
I think the current minor problem would be: are we not down a sewer with no hit points?
Yeah, so right this second you can't, but
There's like no shopping down here.
so you are in an abandoned part of Gobak, a great city that slowly dwindled in its numbers. You're in a flooded part of that city. What was once a great temple to the mother and the father, the Mary Mother and the Goodly Father. You stand inside the main hall of the temple. It sits on like a 20-degree angle, sunken in on one side. So the whole left side of the building is filled with water, a steady drip coming down from the ceiling. The windows are mostly cracked and smashed. You see a few bits of beautiful stained glass work scattering light all amongst the room. There's a terrible damp smell in the air, rotting, curtains and great tapestries that would have once held art sit on the ground discarded, and a few rats scurry about the places you enter. You've just come from that great run across the ruins and double the rubbish, closed the doors behind you and just gotten in, panting to catch your breath. You can see on the far wall opposite the building a huge huge stone relief carving of the Goodly Father on one side and holding hands with the Mary Mother. So the Goodly Father's shoulders carry the beasts and trees of the land, and the Mary Mother's kind of like the hem of her skirt turns into a great river that leads out to an ocean. You see she holds a cup in one hand, he holds a bow in his. At the base of this massive, maybe 20, 30 foot tall, at the base of that a large crack has formed, almost right down the middle, that you see is about wide enough for someone to squeeze through, which is where Miss Hubbard would have described to you the entrance to the Fate Trail is. You don't know exactly what this is. It leads to a place called Magson Hall of a wealthy dwarven family in Pebble Creek. You don't really know much else. Mother Gothel indicated to you that they would be allies and help you out there. Here's my question: do you want to sit tight, heal up, take any rests or anything before you head through, or are you just going straight through?
Oh, I'm going straight there.
Yeah.
Well, yes, the smart thing would be to do stuff.
No, I think we would be
Well,
so
let
fucking
those
scared
kids-
about what's behind us that we would not be stopping.
That's very fair.
yeah.
Alright,
Yep.
I guess I'll lead the way then, since I got
Although-
the 6 points.
Before we go through, may I request architecture law? Because, and I would want to do an arcana
To see
check.
if they are going to come
No,
put this door
Is this
strong
tunnel
enough.
Because
secure?
I want to understand more about this opening and what causes the patrons.
Yeah.
So I want to do an arcana, and would you go to do an architecture law to see if it's like these temples are the pointers or the markers, or like why this location?
Architecture law. I mean,
Architecture.
Of architecture.
it's the most
Oh,
used ability.
I mean, law skills are kind of meant to be used a lot.
Yeah,
but I do
yeah.
think architecture law is pushing it. Hang on, I need my DM screen. Oh, I think I left it at home. That's all right. Yeah, what are our numbers? What did we get?
25 for architecture.
Nice.
25
That's way too high.
and 34 for
Plus
arcana.
17 for it, so.
and 34 for Arcana.
That was a big arcana.
It was.
Let me pull up something pretty quick. Level 8 sorry, so 24 and 34?
Yeah.
Crazy. Alright, 24 and 34. Wow.
Okay,
Okay,
so obviously cracking a statue. There's magical power pouring out of it. What does this mean?
so, architecture law first. This temple has all of the signs of having been built in the early days of this of the 5th age. So it's very old. It's 7th age currently. This building is like 400 years old. To give or take. You notice that some of the
So
like
about 200 years in age.
yeah, about 250, 250. You notice that some of the iconography with the gods up there is kind of outdated by what people believe now. The mother, has the river and the cup, not really things you'd associate with her. Now you need a religion check to know more.
Yeah.
And the thing with the father with the animals on their back not what you would see as the father. They have dogs associated with them, but not that. So it's a much older version of stories you know.
Yeah.
And the columns are done in a certain way, that sort of thing. Looks like much like the rest of the city, this place is flooded, and that's what's caused this tilt here. What's interesting, the way the rock is shearing and moving from the floods before does not make any sense for there to be a big crack in the base of this building. Doesn't seem structural. Doesn't seem what you expect is structural.
So it's not like a natural.
Doesn't look like a
It looks
natural
like
apparent crack. You can see there's a crack in one of the columns that goes like that way, whereas this crack is that way. It doesn't match with the stress on the building. In terms of Arcana, before you even start trying to piece together, you just feel, and anyone else who can cast spells will feel as well, just this light pull, almost like a draft of wind in the back of your neck, just going into this crack. You feel so that success is enough to know a level 15 effect or higher. Level 15 or higher, or in the case of spells, we're talking about rank 8 or higher.
Oh, that's huge.
So this is equivalent to about an 8th rank spell. It's a very powerful magic. And you feel this is some sort of transportation magic. It looks like this crack is less in the stone, more a spell effect, if that makes sense. Kind of like a magic door. In that, if you cast a magic door spell, you don't actually make a frame of wood and a handle appear, you make a magical bit appear that looks like a door. This one just looks like a natural crack in the stone. You think if you dispelled
it's
this,
like an illusion, kind of.
almost like an illusion, or not in the
Do I feel like
misleading
this
way.
is like a black hole kind of thing? Or
Feels like,
a-
feels like you could go through this quite easily.
Yeah.
Feels like you're not sure if you could come back out this as easily. It's unclear to you how that would work. Actually, sorry, no, because you succeeded on that check. You can come and go through this as you want.
Nice.
You think this will take you to a... Yeah, you succeeded in an 8th level spell check. You know how this works. This will take you to a demi-plane where you feel there are other similar spells connected to other places in Evergreen.
Oh god, this is like
So this will lead you to a little portal hub.
this is like magician.
Um,
There's literally a demi-plane with doors, and it's just hallways to everywhere in the world.
similar, but this looks like a crack. And so if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
dispelled this, which would be difficult but possible, you feel like the carving would be completely untarnished.
Okay, and we'll relay that information.
Yeah.
Other quick little things for succeeding on that check. You don't think it's going to be harmful. You think you'll be able to pass through here pretty fine. You think any items that mess with space would probably struggle to code through here. So if you had like a instant fortress or anything, that might do weird stuff. Not that it couldn't go through, it just might not work as you'd expect inside whatever this place is. But you don't really have anything like that as far as I know. So,
I've got a holly bush that a berry turns into a big bush. Would that be affected?
yeah, that would be the sort of thing that might behave.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
my
gonna think
floating tin that's designed for being in a different plane of existence.
Oh yeah, so
Definitely.
floating tent definitely would behave. But
Yeah.
You think that probably won't work inside this
I
place that you're going to
Would from that check, would he be able to determine whether this has been something that's been created by someone's magic, or if it's something, if it's just the magic of the world,
Yeah, do we know if it's...
like the Sunderance is the
Yeah, I think with it, I think with that sort of a check, you can tell there's no. Whenever any spell is cast, has a particular caster's energy attached to it. The author line on this spell is it seems to not have a caster, which you know, is the sort of thing you'd expect, like a zombie that just comes back to life.
So it's just like, it feels like a natural occurrence.
Feels like a thing that's happened as part of the world.
Uh,
Feels old. Feels a couple of 100 years old.
Does it... Do I think it's like arcane magic, or do I think it's more primordial?
Definitely. You can still use Arcana to understand it, but yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Primordial is...
Druids.
Druids, yeah.
Druids, rangers, and also the most fae of primary magic as
The
well.
more natural magic.
Yeah, very much so. So you're heading through the crack, and who's heading first?
He's heading first.
Mordred's probably limping at the back.
Drizel's trying to reconnect various body parts. Probably using bits of other body parts to tie them back on.
I'm thinking I'm going to stow my bow and have my sword cane ready.
Nice. You sword cane in hand.
I'm
it's-
using Caliburn like a walking stick.
Wow. It leaves horrible imprints in the stone. As you just hear these sparks fly off, and the stone cracks around this immensely powerful sword.
The thing you can't want it.
Yeah.
Bigby, you have to turn to fit through this crack. It's quite narrow. Can you give me an acrobatics check to squeeze through?
Oh god.
As you turn around, you see a 20-foot long reddish purple tendril just extending out of the water on the left side of the room.
Oh god.
On the floor as it starts to move.
Let's go.
Good thing I got a good check.
I'm glad we're going.
Was it acrobatics, you said?
Acrobatics to
So
squeeze
that's
through.
28.
28.
I've got one.
That is absolutely enough. Well done. You slip through. You hear the sound of the squelch and the moving water just dies away on your ears. The smell changes from this awful damp to this, almost reassuring, comforting, earthy smell as you find yourself in a roughly circular tunnel that moves forward, not dead straight, kind of wanders a little bit. You see little patches of moss and grass. A small, pale white flower grows on the ground. And you see in the wall there are occasionally embedded stones with carvings in a language I don't think you speak. Let me share that one. My apologies. You see Fey carvings. One of them reads, "Walk the way of the thief who took the eye."
The thief who took the eye.
Another few
Magus.
steps, you see another one.
Yeah, that's right. We did. It was the
He who
Magus.
flies without making a noise.
Meow.
And other various sort of slightly cryptic things.
It was the Magus's sign, so that makes sense.
I will stand right for the rest.
As you turn back around, the crack was kind of triangular in shape. You see a perfectly circular, or not perfectly, a roughly circular, just a bit like darkness.
Out of calamari, would you like something else?
What did they do instead?
Hold on 1 second. Has anybody got? Oh, so you can see the menu. Hold on, I'm just trying to pull up the menu at the same time.
Do they have something?
Hold on 1 second.
I'll get lemon chicken.
Can I have lemon chicken, please? Lemon chicken. All right, awesome. Thank you very much. Cheers, bye.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
No calamari.
No calamari.
Good job.
It's been a while since I had like a sort of a squid salad.
Yeah.
Bigby, your feeling is that you are in a very different place to where you just were. The smells are different, the sounds are different. You can't see through this gap. It's pure darkness.
Yeah.
You feel that same sort of tug towards it. You could probably step back, but in terms of like casting effects, attacks, area effects, you're not on the other side of that wall. You are in a different place entirely.
Yeah. Do I see any other doors or anything?
The tunnel just continues on. So
Oh,
a
okay,
little
so
while
it's
ahead,
a tunnel,
it's
so
big, just tunnel underground. It looks like you're underground, but you look at dirt around you, the particles fall down.
Very
The
cool.
air is still, not that it's like musty or locked away, it just feels quiet. Who is, in fact, for the 3 people left, we will do an initiative roll really quick.
Oh, God.
Versus the giant tentacle.
Oh, I'm one of myself, and I'm the one that got to save me. Here I was thinking I was doing the right thing first.
Behold.
Is that no one?
Oh no!
26.
And I've got the
26.
lowest. 11.
21.
21. Drizella, you're going to act first.
So there's
Big
So
tentacle.
did I make him visible, by the way?
Suckers
Are they
on
coming
from-
behind us.
Yeah, it's kind of to your
Drizella.
left. Looks like it's in the room with you. It's moved out.
Drizella's
It looks like
invisible.
it's pulling its way out of there. Drizella is invisible. Well remembered.
I didn't know it was stable.
Well remembered, Dave.
Thank you.
It looks like it's going
Why
to
not?
act not long after you.
Okay.
So whether it's going to act before or after Darian is hard to tell.
Do I get... do I become uninvisible if I attack?
Nope. Never in Pathfinder.
Just checking. Fine. Seeing as it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to flens the... I'm going to...
Does it have to have a body for that?
Big tentacle, that's a
It's got a tentacle
Oh,
body.
that's true.
I can strip off flesh and muscle.
Yeah.
So it's got them things. Right.
It's a basic
It's a touch, so that would be, yeah, I think so.
Does it say defense on
They're really good.
No, hold on a minute, sorry.
the top?
No, it's a spell attack.
There you go.
What's that? Oh, so that's 16 on the dice, so that's what, plus 11, isn't it? So 28
Hits.
hits.
You reach out, touch
There
this
you are.
rope.
On a hit, so that's 2d6 of the slashing damage. 2d. So that's 4 slashing damage to. It's not an undead thing.
No.
Okay, that's fine then.
4?
So yeah, 4 slashing damage, and then I have. So it's 2 actions. Can I try and get towards this gap that we're trying to get away from this
absolutely.
thing?
Yeah, you
Can
can
I-
run towards the gap with your remaining action.
I'll take my
It's
movement.
one action to go through, so you can go stand near.
I'll get as near to the entrance as I can, not obstructing anybody else who chooses to go through as a full.
Yeah.
turn.
So, Trizella
Yeah.
touches. You see the tendril reeds as bits of it just fly off into the water below.
Yeah.
So you hear this horrible squelching sound from underneath the water. That is Darren.
Yeah, I'm going to. Can I make a basic reflex?
35.
Oh, yeah, that's going to pass. So it takes. All creatures take the damage. Oh, no, they take no
If it's
damage. That's
basic,
basic. Yeah,
Did it pass?
Yeah, it would have.
Or did it critically succeed? Is your DC 25 or no?
My DC is 22.
Cool, then it critically succeeded, takes no damage.
It takes no damage.
So you conjure up a spell, shoot up, but it just lands into this massive tendril.
Lame.
Got an action left?
Yeah, I'm going to book it.
Cool, you
I
also
tried.
head right next to
As
the
you see these flowers like grow and then just go to be.
the creature then 6.
I swear to God, if Mordred dies again.
Your AC is kind of 25, is it? Not?
Yes.
How many hit points do you have?
6.
That way.
You see this arm reaches over around Mordred and then pulls him into the wall.
Oh my God!
Oh,
no,
not again!
How much damage?
22.
So how dead are you, Mordred?
Wounded 2
Um,
and dead.
Right, moving to dying 1. So if you're dying, so you're not dying 1, you're dying 3.
So if I fail one more time, I'm dead.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. You see, as you're pulled in under the water, well, you're dead actually. You don't quite see what it is. But Drizella, Bigby, you both see. Sorry, Drizella, Darren,
rush to
you
the-
both see. Just pulled under the water.
You're just too slow, Mordred.
I rolled on that one.
It's all that armour.
It
Bigby,
is.
5 or so seconds pass in the tunnel without any sign of your companions.
Fuck. Guess I'll have to go back in.
Can I have a free action to shout down the tunnel?
You shout. Yeah, what do you shout?
Mordred looks dead and has been dragged back in the water by a tentacle.
Give us a perception check.
Oh. Oh. You've already left.
I've still got my fast healing
So 12.
active, so I will pop up next turn.
Um,
I need to add the
25.
25. As you shout into where this crack is, it doesn't sound like shouting into a corridor, it just sounds like shouting against a wall. You wonder if someone will travel this way.
Alright, I'll go back through.
Does
so
he
the way
hear
this is
anything?
going to work is Bigby has to make checks to see if they recognise that it's been a bit too long.
Oh no.
Gets to 3 rounds, which is 30 seconds. You can make your own decision if you go back, but as far as 5 seconds go, that is just a check to see if you're doing it. You can make either.
They're injured, they're just
And I'm
slow.
assuming he didn't hear that.
Maybe you hear nothing.
Did you
can
say
make
the
either
tentacle?
a will save or a
I saw the
society check. Your
tentacle.
choice.
I thought the way you described the tentacle was like coming out of the wall, like it was like something.
No, so come out of the
That's
wall.
what I thought the check was
Water.
for. Yeah.
No. And you didn't
you've
hear
got
me.
crack in the wall, you squeeze through it, and then just on the other side of the room, there's some water tentacles.
What am I checking?
You can either do a will save or a society check.
Society.
Definitely society. Though.
Are my friends
22.
likely to be coming down this tunnel anytime
Why
soon?
What was
is
that
everything come
22.
22.
Probably
That's
not.
enough to head back next round, not this one. You wait those 3 seconds. By the end of that round, you realise something is wrong. You head back through. Drizella, that's back to you.
Oh, back to me.
Oh, I haven't had my turn yet.
You will take your turn. You're dead, so you take
I've
your
got
turn.
fast healing, which applies at the beginning of my turn.
Cool. When you die, your turn moves to immediately before the creature that downed you.
Oh, okay.
So you'll have your turn right before this.
Cool. Sorry.
That's right. So it gives you the full amount of bonus to help you out.
That's cool.
Drizella, back to you.
And Mordred's under the water again.
Yeah.
So, you know you're going to come up.
We don't.
Drizella doesn't know you're going to come up, I don't think. But I'm not sure Drizella's got any useful healing.
What? Big armored guy, water.
How far
Natural
away is Mordred
One.
from me? One movement action to be within, I think, 30 feet.
You're
You just really
Oh,
need
within,
to
I
shout.
mean, I'm already
Fine.
within.
Yeah, this
In-
is all very close quarters.
Make you swim
Then-
really well, like turn into flippers when they're underwater.
I am
Just
going
like
to.
floaters.
Wings or something.
I'm going to cast.
It's the flotation device under your arm that just pops out.
Do a 2-action heal on Mordred.
Yay!
You can see, feel the joy of my cleric healing. If you're a living creature, so
Mordred
increase
comes
my.
back to consciousness. He
So
like breathes in and it's just water.
Mordred
Stop it,
comes back to
Mordred.
consciousness. You see
Do not
wrapping
drown
around is a
you.
great tentacle of a giant octopus.
Oh god, it's not the same as before.
No, this is
I didn't think
a
it was, 'cause you said it.
giant octopus.
Yeah.
Huge head floating in water, great black eyes looking at
31.
you knowingly.
I'm getting
Rips
big
around
Lord
you.
of the Rings vibes.
Huge teeth at the bottom where all the
on
tendrils
the
meet
way.
at its base as they open up to a great mouth and maw.
So yeah, that's 31 healing.
Wow.
Thank
That's
you.
all my healing down, by the way. Just
You don't have any
Oh, well, I
healing?
can do some like healing
Are you
afterwards
crackled?
if you'll let me do
I think
some
so.
like acupuncture or like pull my skin off and use it to bind your wounds. But I can't actually do any like spellcraft healing
That's good to know.
unless
I've
you're
got some-
undead, in which case we're all good.
Darian, you're up.
I can actually choose to
Be undead.
get negative healing for the day because of one of my abilities.
That's cool.
Nudge the scales. I get to choose whether it's positive or negative.
Given that they haven't moved, do I need to make the same check as he did? Given that I tried to attack this thing before I left,
What check, sorry?
to know if I think it's been too long and need to go back.
You haven't gone
You
through
haven't
yet.
gone through.
You didn't have the action card.
Okay, because I had one movement, but there wasn't
Yeah,
enough to
so
get through.
movement gets you to
Okay.
there. You need a separate action to squeeze through
And how far away is Mordred right now?
20 feet.
20 feet?
Yeah.
Is she grappled?
He's grappled, yeah. He's under the surface of the water. But 20 feet. You've got line of sight.
Um,
Am I now?
okay, I'm just going to cast Impending Doom. I was going to time jump, but because you grappled, it's like, I can't just carry
Doesn't
you
that take
out.
3 turns? To...
Yeah, but it annoys them for the first. Depends on what
That's true.
Depends what their thing does.
Will for impending doom?
We.
Yeah, will.
Ooh, 19.
That is a failure. Now, failure is immediately flat-footed.
Cool.
On the second round, it's right on 2, and on the third,
Flat-footed
start.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing.
Technically, they renamed flat-footed to off guard, which I think is a massive improvement.
Yeah.
Because it does not require.
Cheats, yeah.
Flat tentacles.
Okay, and I will move. I'll just make it flat-footed, impending doom it,
Yep.
and then just keep booking it to the side.
Cool. Give us an acrobatics check to squeeze through the crap.
Yeah. That's a 17.
17 is.
Stuck in the hole.
Stuck
like
in the
a
crack.
frog.
Just like my big
Stuck in the
booty.
crack.
You
You're gonna
tried
come.
to dive roll through.
You're
it
gonna
that
come
way.
barreling the other way, and he's gonna be stuck
17
in the
is enough.
hole.
You
Oh.
got stuck for just a moment. If you got any less, you wouldn't get through. But you make it through. You see Bigby standing in the corridor.
Can I free action just yell, run?
Yeah,
And
sure.
so-
You see Mordred
'Cause I would've seen
splashing
the
around, water splashing everywhere, this tentacle pulling against Mordred to try to swim. You give the advice to run and book it through there.
Thanks
You
for the
see-
top tip.
And then as I get over the other side, she's fucking dead again. He is.
Yeah, I'm not dead. I'm nearly dead.
Ah, son of a bitch.
So I'll just say like tentacle grapple.
Actually,
Got healed again, but
It's just us, really.
I'll just let you know that something's going down.
If I stay there any longer, I will also be in the water.
Yeah, you should go through.
I only have like 5 seconds to talk, so I was like,
Mordred, that is you.
Okay,
Fast healing activates at the start of your turn.
so I
Did I get Mordred? What was that? Okay.
You see this thing is pulling you towards its great
Okay.
open.
3 hit points back. Can I use an action to break the grapple?
You can try.
What is it
Athletics
gonna be?
or acrobatics? Your choice.
Athletics. I just need to remove this curse because I did it wrong. It doesn't affect my skills, it affects my saves, but I could...
Or the dice affects the skills.
It's a nat 1.
The dice will
Again?
affect your skills. Yeah, you must pay the
2 nat
one.
1s.
That's 2.
Are you not hero pointing
And then I
these
just got
dying
11,
checks?
which is the worst thing you could possibly get with a
With a
hero
hero
point.
point, yeah.
That is going to be a 25.
25? Just enough. You see this thing is strong but not good at holding, as you see you're able to just wreathe off this partially withered tentacle from Drusella's spell before.
Cool. Can I run towards the crack?
Yeah, you scuttle out of the water, you run towards the crack, one action to escape, one action to move, you can just try to squeeze through it the third turn.
But Drizel's going to be stuck and it's about to take its action.
Well, Drusella's not going to be stuck, Drizella is standing right on the opposite side of the crack.
Oh, is she? So she'll be able to get through.
She can duck through. It'll get
She's
a turn,
invisible.
but then Drusella will be able to duck through.
She's invisible.
Assuming she's not in the water dead. Which is a strong possibility.
Can I
Does
shove her
passive
through the crack?
heal remove invisibility?
Oh, you
that'll be-
stupid self-righteous pieces.
You can't see
you
me.
can't do that and get through yourself. You've only
No,
got-
no, no.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that's
point.
You
what
also
I'm
can't
saying.
see. No, you
Absolutely.
can't see me.
But yeah, you can't see that.
True.
So you'd have to find me.
Oh,
Yeah, because you didn't use a hostile action,
Um,
you just used heal. So
Which
you're
you
actually
can
invisible.
try to do because
Yeah, yeah.
you're
No, I
still
cleansed
invisible
it.
if you use a hostile.
Oh, then
You say
no,
if you-
then the spell ended.
Oh, does that
When-
spell particularly end if you use a hostile action?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not
Okay.
invisible. There
So
you go.
now, and you can Drizzy Drizella.
Your heal was
Drizella,
fine.
are you opposing this at all?
Oh, I wouldn't oppose it. I would
Cool.
roll my eyes almost all the way back in my head, but you wouldn't see that because I've got my mask on.
Athletics check just to beat the squeeze DC.
If you wedge me in this hole,
All right.
like you haven't rolled higher than a 1 yet.
Yeah, this is a good roll. This is a good roll. 33.
You
That's because
shove Drizella through.
Drizella's like it's like
Absolutely.
it's like putting Drizella through a sausage machine.
Absolutely.
So her head goes through,
Oh.
and then really, like later and later and
on
later.
the other hand, the
oh,
two of you just see Drizella just
Oh,
pouring out.
yeah,
into
like
a
some
pond.
kind of cross between a pot of
Oh.
slime and a slinky.
I hate it.
Where's Mordred?
Out the water.
Mordred, roll me a luck check. D20.
6.
Cool.
7 actually. This is Memphis.
Um,
That's
29 to hit.
Yeah.
You see this thing's tentacles are just long enough to wrap around your ankle,
Why?
dealing 19 damage.
And I can't even use a reaction or anything because it's I'm on the other side of the
We'll
barrier.
stay in the hole.
Now, this
Yeah,
creature
we're just gonna
adds
go.
15 to grapple checks.
Oh, gee whiz.
Have I
Your
gotten a turn yet?
Your turn's next.
Okay, good.
Creature adds 15 to grapple checks. Your fortitude
Just your turn is going to be pop out the
is
hole and go
plus
side
10.
and just walk
Yeah.
back
Your
in.
first turn was waiting to see whether or not you were worried about anything.
So
To be
it
fair,
needs
there's now 3 of
50
us
less
through
than
the
a
hole,
5 you get.
so you're probably not that worried.
Not the best odds in the world, but
No, but he said that Mordred
that's
was
fair.
Okay.
so
Yeah, I
Valid.
said
No, I
that's
saw
just
you come.
getting it.
And I said Mordred's
You're
out the water.
This one encounter is going to last us like 4 hours in real time. From
13 grabs you, does not have the action economy to pull you this turn. It actually missed its first attack.
Okay, that's fine.
As you see, it grabs around your ankle as you
Perfect.
pull, you are just fixed in place. Bigby, that's your turn.
Okay.
Could be mental.
I was gonna go back
Going
in.
back through.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Squeeze through check again.
Mhm.
Acrobatics.
16.
16 is not enough, but you're not critically failed, so you don't get stuck. You try to go through, you can't make it rush. That's your first action. You can just try again.
Yeah,
if
I'll
you're
try.
right.
You're going to get stuck on the other side of the
Just
hole.
don't critically fail.
Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Though 20 does it, you get stuck from it, but you fix yourself up, move through.
Okay, and then I'll
You
make
ground on the inside.
an attack roll
Go for it.
on the sword cane. Okay, so that will be.
But that means you might get stuck on the other side.
I've got more health points.
This is like one of those. You've got a corn, a bag of corn, and
Bag
a
of corn,
fox,
a chicken,
and a
and a
chicken,
fox,
and
and
you
a
have to get
boat.
across the river.
And
Yeah.
for some reason, you can't take two at the same time.
You can't take two at the same time, and the river has got a giant
That's 22.
octopus in it.
22 to hit?
Yeah.
You stab your sword cane down it, but it doesn't seem to hit anything important. Miss. Yeah, it's
You
a
should-
big, massive
Do you have a
muscle.
final action left?
No,
That's the
That was it. Yeah, there's a giant octopus that likes chickens and boats and foxes and corn.
That brings us back to the top of the order, which is Drizella.
Drizella's on the other side.
So Drizella cannot see nor hear what's happening.
I'm sorry, everyone.
I would have told you this.
Oh yeah, no. Drizella's
Done.
Drizella's up.
Darian, did you
Drizella's
say
not
that as well?
moving.
No, I'm going to squeeze back through the
Oh,
Cool.
Oh my god.
Real quick, what do you add to acrobatics?
1.
Great, so it's possible for you to critically fail and become stuck. Good to know. What did you roll? That's a critical fail. You go through and become stuck in the crack.
I'm trying!
You
Is
are
his
now
head
stuck.
sticking out?
Nope, so he is in between this partial dimension Drizella is in and the real world that you two are in. You get
He's stuck in the
You
hole
see
of a
just
demi-plane.
between the rock and the other place, you see just almost like the night sky, distant lights far off blue. You realise there's no air where you currently are as you take a small breath.
You're
It's
effectively in a
One
bag of
action to
holding.
escape, and then you need to squeeze through again. You've got 2 actions left, so you can do it on this turn. But if you mess them up, you're going to start suffocating.
Okay.
So try to break the stuff.
Nice.
Is the first one. So
We
it's all
are
acrobat.
That'd
the
be
worst
awesome
players
mechanic.
in the world.
That's all Pathfinder.
Wait, was that an 11?
Nice.
11 is not enough to break. So you try to move. You're still stuck between these rocks. You can't breathe. You realise at this time also you can't feel the ends of your fingers as it is deathly cold.
With plus
You're
1,
still-
you decided to go back through.
Yep.
You're
I
Oh,
didn't know
wow.
what the DC was.
Holy-
Over 16.
I failed with 10. Like, so.
And then my...
I failed with 16.
Nat 1, you become even more self-increasingly difficult to get out. You
Oh
are
my
fully
God.
lodged between these 2 rocks. You try out your slips.
I failed with a
into the
16.
gap
You
between
didn't
them.
get that through your head.
Alrighty.
He
That's
wouldn't.
Darian's turn. 3 turns of being stuck. Good fun. Mordred, and then the creature.
Oh my god, I'm
I
still
think you better start back to
Because
the
it's
character.
holding your ankle.
Because you deserve to die.
Can I?
Stupid mistake.
Get out of there.
You can try to break the grapple. Athletics. or acrobatics.
That'll be 31.
31. Success.
I
you
think this was
pulled your
was
foot
this
out.
meant to be just
Alright,
all go
and
through
I'm
the
right
crack.
next to the crack.
You're right
It's
next to
like-
the crack.
First action, I'm going to shove
Oh,
Bigsy back in.
Yep, athletics check.
And now I'm
Hold on.
now going to suffocate
Bigby goes-
because it's in the way.
Can Bigby fit through the crack?
Yeah.
The DC's just higher because there's a person where you've got to squeeze past.
He's in a
Look at
liminal
that.
space between the crack and corridor.
like
Yep.
like
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those horrifying stories. of, like,
29.
No, you're stuck.
29.
You're stuck
You
in the liminal
push Bigby
space
with
between
just
the
as much
corridor and the
expertise
world.
as he did for Drizella. He just does not know. It's a solid object. You can't hear what the solid object says, but I imagine it's Darian saying "ouch" as Bigby is slammed into you.
Yeah.
Roll a d6, please.
You're just going to get trying to push
3.
people
3
through.
damage to both of you.
Oh, God.
Bludgeoning, if that makes a difference. That is 2 actions, Mordred. You've got your third.
As my third action, I'm going to take out my... How many actions does it take to conjure the woman in the mirror?
All you need to do is speak, so it's a free action.
What? You cannot do.
I kind of want to throw the mirror and break it and then teleport us.
Teleports where?
I don't know. Okay, no, alright, I'm going to do something less stupid. Alright, I will take out my holly bush and I'll throw it on the ground to cover the area in front of me and
Yep,
provide
provides you with
a wall of
lesser
cover.
cover, greater cover. Just check before. Oh, yeah, it's turn next, so yeah.
Oh, wait, has
We were
it hit?
just about
Has
out.
it hit a second turn since I...
It's about to take its second turn.
Okay.
Standard cover.
Standard cover, lovely.
I'm going to put it in front so it can't really see us.
Absolutely, that
Yep.
comes up.
And then I'll continue pushing against you. So we should be hidden right now.
So standard cover is +2.
Oh, that's all it does?
It's all standard cover.
Oh.
classes, yeah. So it's +2, but it's also reaching, so it's got another 2, and it's currently flat-footed, so that's another 2.
And
So
it's
it's
currently
taking a-
stunned as well because of the impending doom.
Not
Not
until it
yet.
makes that second check.
Oh, right?
No, it's third.
Yeah, third turn it's done. So,
Oh, okay.
but it's going to take a -6 to attack rolls while you're behind it, so it stacks quite well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Awesome.
Because I can't fit through. We can't fit through.
No one can fit through while someone's
So
stuck
might
in
as
the
well get
Um,
cover.
Alright, awesome. It's going to take its turn.
Okay, it's frightened too.
38, but you take 6, so that is 32.
It's frightened too as well.
Frightened 2, sorry, so that is 30. That's still a hit.
But not a crit, I assume.
We did 3.
So that is
You should not have been showing people through.
17 damage.
Would you? Didn't take the. I'm just up. I've got 1 hit point. Sorry, I didn't add my fast healing. Okay.
17, and then I'm afraid that's a crit success on the grapple. So you are, as it wraps its tendril around your arm and starts to pull you over the top of the thing. That
Hate us. You hate us.
no, this is not. This shouldn't be this difficult of an encounter. I'm terribly sorry.
I think it's because we're not actually like fighting it. We're trying to like run /
Yeah.
not run.
That
And
should
it's-
be easier. Drizella, that is you. You are standing alone in the corridor. You can see a foot of Darian's sticks out of the darkness, flails around a bit, and disappears back into the darkness.
We need a Deus Ex Machina right now.
For God's sake, I am not going back through the hole.
That's smart.
That's good because you can't.
Drizella is going to.
You've got stretchy arms, maybe you can reach.
No, I'm going to throw my inside ropes into the hole
Okay.
to and see if I can basically assist
Yeah.
pulling the obstruction out of the hole, which I assume to be Darius because I saw his foot.
Yeah. Give us acrobatics.
Probably on his next turn, I would be guessing.
Am I the only one with good acrobatics?
You feel wet intestines slap against you.
Oh.
That is different.
22.
22 is a success. So you're like going to add +1 to the next action. Inside ropes, I think, is two action cast and then one
Still
action
need,
cast.
like,
Inside ropes,
You need
one
to
action
roll like a
cast,
Also, you've got
and they're up for 10 minutes.
How did we get through the first time?
my
so
inside
easily?
I
ropes.
don't know, crit or something.
I
maybe?
So,
roll like 18.
one action
Yeah,
to cast. I basically
Because it's 16, like, I've
Going
got,
to-
I've got +11 acrobatics, so it's easy.
effectively try and brace myself
Oh yeah, I like that.
into this
But I still failed.
corridor
Yeah.
with my potentially
It's
stretchy.
about this right side you can reach plus kind of touch
Yeah, I'm
both
going to-
sides of the wall.
I'm going to basically take my other two actions to brace myself in this corridor. So, dick shit 1, 2, and 3 don't pull me by my inside ropes back through the hole.
Fantastic. Would we like to break for dinner now?
Do we have dinner?
Or do we want to
Yeah.
do it here? Or do we want to do like one more round or something?
Can do one
One more round.
One more round.
You won't get cold, it's always piping hot. Alright, Darian, that's you. There is no air. It is cold, intestines against the back.
I'm just trying to
Big pushing
escape,
up against
and
your
I'm going to
front.
use a hero point if I need
Rocks
it.
pointing into your sides. You have 3 actions.
And I'm escaping backwards, not forwards.
And you've got a plus. You've got my plus
Yeah.
1 on
I
that.
thought I was before him,
My apologies, you are.
Yeah, you
so I
are.
went through first.
Thank you for checking.
Yeah,
that.
you are. You are.
Okay, so where am I? I'm
So
inside.
you are
the
still
crack.
inside the temple. So
Okay.
you just physically can't get into the Fey Trail entrance.
Can I
So
try
it's
to
a
push
safe
him?
curve.
Yep, you can reach through and reach and push it, so you can go so far.
Yeah.
You can use athletics or acrobatics for that because you're pushing.
Yeah, I'll use acrobatics and like that. It's gonna be a 19.
19 is a success, so that's now +2 on top of the usual modifier. That's just one action. You've got 2 more if you want to use them.
Can I just keep adding to that? Or no.
Or you can just
No.
hold your action to
Okay.
squeeze through when
Can you like do an aid action?
That is an 8 action.
Oh, that's good.
You can hold your action to move through afterwards if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be good.
What about what's happened with Mordred? He's not underwater yet, is he?
No, Mordred is trying to push you into the crack.
Yeah. So he's grabbed by a tentacle?
Yeah.
Can I try to stab the tentacle?
Tentacle's on the other side of Mordred who's trying to push you.
Try to stab
So
Mordred,
it'll
it'll
be
be quicker.
difficult, but you can.
Or you could just could he try and like bring me out of the grapple?
Yes.
Like
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can try to swing
might
Mordred
be
out of the gap. Yeah,
Yeah.
give us
You
a,
roll?
that one
That'd
will
be like
have to
a-
be athletic, so that will take you
Yeah.
out.
I haven't rolled anything yet. Although it does say 18 on the die, which would be quite nice.
That's the second 8 in a row I've rolled. No, that's a 19.
19's not quite enough to do it. You pull your arms on a Mordred pull, but nothing happens. Do you want to hold your third action to squeeze through?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Darian, that is you.
Yeah, I will.
You've got inside
you
ropes.
just had to have a tentacle in there. You just had to.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
There wasn't that one on the die again.
Wonderful. Don't forget you add 10 if
We
you
have
roll
rolled
less than
so
10.
many nat ones tonight.
Ugh.
Okay, roll it up, please.
Acrobatics.
That was an 8
So that's an 18.
good. That's 18.
18.
plus 2
Plus two.
So 20
8
plus
plus-
your modifier, which is +1.
1, so
So that's
21.
21. That's enough. You're no longer stuck.
I just squeeze out.
However, you're no longer stuck.
Oh
you
my
still need
God.
to squeeze through there.
Why? Because I went backwards.
No, you're just not stuck.
So the way
That's
it
just
works
got
is
you
that if
unstuck.
you can
Now you've got to roll
become
again.
stuck, you become unstuck, then you can
So you're sort of like in the middle of the.
Yeah, so as long as you don't critically fail,
So I
you
have
won't
to do
become
this
stuck.
again.
Yeah, you still
Yeah,
need to-
you just
You
need to
hit
not
another 17.
critically
Does anyone
fail.
have a hero?
Yes.
I can use it. This
Yes.
is like.
You've still got it. Can you still have inside ropes? Because they're just in
Yep.
there. You've
I'm
still
happy-
got
I'm
inside
happy with
ropes
inside
to
ropes.
try and pull
So that's
yourself.
plus- So roll the dice and then plus 2.
Come on.
15 or higher, I guess.
There was a 17 on the die.
Wonderful. As you are
Oh,
pulled
God.
backwards, you see the
God.
stars and the scar and the strange place you are fade away. You're back inside the tunnel with Giselle.
Alright.
I
Okay,
reel
so I guess
in
that
my
means I
inside
take my
ropes.
action
Means
now.
your bed action goes through, you squeeze through.
Okay, and then I'm just.
And that's an 18.
That's a success. You done.
Oh,
I
You're
reel
forward.
in my inside ropes.
You pull the inside ropes in. You're all safe and sound, except for Mordred, whose turn it is right now.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm still grappled.
Still grapple.
I'm going to try and break the grapple.
Try to break the grapple.
I'm going to have to come through
That's
with my
cocked.
inside ropes.
That's also cocked. Let me just roll that differently. 15.
Critical fail. No luck at all. Tentacle worms around.
I
you.
take out my shard of the mirror and I smash it on the ground.
Wonderful. Let's go have dinner. We can resolve that choice in a little bit.
There's no way I'm getting through that.
We're going to do it because none of you know exactly what's happened to Mordred. We're going to run fully from your point of view, and then we'll do what's
Yeah, I
happening
can
with
see.
Mordred. Darian manages to squeeze through. He's pulled out by Drizella's inside rope. Bigby tumbles in afterwards. You turn to look, waiting for Mordred to come through. A couple of seconds pass, and you hear this horrible sound, like an enormous sheet of glass
we
smashing.
hear the sound through
You hear the sound. And you see where there was darkness at the end of the tunnel fades away and disappears as the dirt falls back and reveals a great slab of, white, slightly reflective quartz crystal. As you see the three of you staring back at it, where there once was the entrance. Just opaque glass.
Punch Darren in the face.
Yeah.
As you punch me, I'm going to use my reaction.
Hope it's to hurt yourself.
No, I'm going to oversell and flourish. So you think you've like really injured me? It's like bullets like flying.
You can sell like a WWE wrestler. Just
That's
Yeah, just
so
like
sad.
ah! Like I'm like a soccer player. I'm on the ground now. You know.
Drizella is
tell what an
gently
armed attack
packing
check is.
her inside ropes.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, like you're like doing
While
like a
this
switch
pair-
lap, and I'm like literally on the floor, like half dead. That's the overselling flourish. Yeah.
You pulling them back in.
no, gently packing as much as pulling.
Gently
Yeah,
packing.
gently packing. Yeah, neatly.
You will just see the reflection of the three of you in that rock where there was the entrance to the other side of the cave.
Where's Mordred?
I don't know.
So that would be my free action then. Where's Mordred?
We're out of initiative.
Okay. Where's Mordred?
I tried to grab him, and he shoved me through instead. And now something horrifying has happened because this stupid quartz shit is here instead of the portal. And we might have gotten through if it weren't for this idiot getting stuck. When I told him to stay.
Why do I not have a third level spell slot right now? I took Shift Blade for a reason.
Is that what you shout? Drizella stamps on your foot.
that's-
No,
that's
no,
right.
okay.
Can you actually
I
make a will
see-
save? Because Flourish does have a will save.
Okay.
Drizella stamps on your foot.
You hear the memory of Mordred's voice in your head.
That was a
we
nat
don't need to fight.
Next one.
We reach a peaceful solution.
Three.
Without Mordred, the party immediately resorts
What
to
do you have?
cannibalizing it all itself.
I was going to say it's got Lord of the Flies
Yeah.
behind the quartz. Without
Yeah,
the
you
leadership
completely
and
ignore the fact
stabilizing
that it's like
influence
you're like,
of
I'm
Mordred.
okay,
15-year-olds.
Stupid idiots.
Drizella, while the boys are fighting,
I was feel sorry for you.
Boys.
I'd like to have a look,
Hmm.
not touch, but have a look at this quartz thing and see if I can figure out when that changed and where, in relation to this, whatever this is.
I don't know what to roll.
What do I make of that? It obviously looks sealed, but
you can make an Arcana check if you like.
Yeah.
You can also make a Nature check. or you can make a perception check and just see what you see with your eyes.
I'll go with perception probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Dylan, what's an unarmed attack base roll?
You'd be trained proficiency, so your level plus 2 plus your strength score.
How much damage am I taking?
Sorry, say that again.
Your level
Yeah,
plus 2.
let's do it. I'm actually expert on attacks.
There you go. So your level plus 4 plus strength score.
31 perception.
31 perception. You look into this, and the longer you look at them, the less it looks like muddied, opaque quartz, and the more it just becomes a perfectly shined mirror finish glass. Okay, so you just see yourselves looking back at it. You just see, eventually, just see you looking back at yourself. And you look in the small bit of glass over your eye, and the mask reflects back the mirror, and there, and back, and back, and back, and back. And somewhere 3 or 4 layers deep, you think you can see silently what looks to be a face chuckling, laughing to itself. Face of a woman.
Oh god.
Blood in her eyes. Trickling down her face.
I turn round and go, you pair of dickheads. In this, what is now a mirror, which we do not get on well with, they are not tasty. My glass eating damage is still fucking me up. Anyway, what do we know about women with bleeding eyes
Well,
that live
last
in
time
mirrors?
I smashed a mirror that teleported me back to you guys. But like a couple of days later.
What do we know about people with bleeding eyes?
Like bad news.
I've probably
Which,
written
I want to know
about
if I'm
it.
even up at this point.
There
Based
you
on
go.
how much damage. No, it depends how much damage you did to you.
Yeah, I can't find
For
it.
God's sake.
Unarmed attack is just your strength score, so 2.
Okay.
Or is it just 2?
It's just 2.
Do
It's in the menu. It's
Do
not
I
like a
recognise this figure?
You've never looked at their face before, but you can put 2 and 2 together. There's only one person you've spoken to in the mirror. And in fact, as you talk, you feel this horrible pain across the roof.
Oh.
Old wounds start to reopen.
Fucking hell.
Can I do an arcana check on this corpse?
Yeah.
It's looking a lot more just like a plain, shiny mirror now.
I'm like,
And I want to know if this, like,
I say to Big Ben,
if where this hole would have been was actually made out of quartz to begin with.
It's
or if
her-
it's completely new.
that we cannot name due to
Nice.
bad shit happening when we do that lives in
Looks
mirrors.
like whatever magical
In the mirror.
was here,
That's,
it's
yeah,
gone.
that's what I figured.
You
Oh,
were
God.
talking before about the possibility of dispelling it. Looks like this has been dispelled and this is replaced where it is at.
Alright, does the stone look new?
Looks
Or-
like a shiny mirror now. It looks very good.
There is no
You saw the
stone.
dirt kind of pull away from
She's
the quartz.
closed
and
the
then
portal.
it goes from quartz to glass to a perfect mirror.
She closed the portal. I think we made a kerfuffle getting through, and somebody may have noticed. Who knew? It was not stealthiest of transitions.
I'm going to pull out one of my pieces of mirror
Yeah.
Oh,
and look at it and say, Mordred, are you there?
Ooh.
Mm.
See, it's very dark in this corridor. You remember the last time you used this mirror to contact someone. It had to be dark, and you remember you had to light a candle. Would you like to do that?
Ah.
You light the candle, you hold your shard of the mirror. You see, having it out here, you see the corridor vibrate slightly as a voice echoes from far down and away from you. With whom would you wish to speak?
Mordred.
You say the name once.
Mordred.
You say the name twice.
Oh!
Mordred.
You say the name 3 times. Shit. We're going to cut back to Mordred. Drizella,
Nice.
with that message, you check the figure in the far off reflection of the reflection of the reflection stops laughing and looks still amused, but a little intrigued. Mordred, what I'd like you to do, can you please roll me a D100?
I don't like that you're looking at the map.
D100.
A D100.
Oh, God.
D100.
and then a second D100, and then we get like a little grid, and then that's where you go.
21.
21, so about 2, 20% along there. Give us another D100.
God, I would something check.
53.
Halfway through.
Ooh. Yeah.
You know, I'm not far off.
I'm
not
not
far
far. That's actually pretty good.
A
Roll me
quill
luck
wild
check to
or
determine exactly where you're going to show up.
Oh, in the dark bits.
14.
14 on a D20. Okay. So that's about 30. That's pretty good. It's not great. So great would be one of the glades. Pretty good would be the path, but you are going to be somewhere. Mordred, you pick up the mirror. You throw it down. It smashes around you. Pieces of glass flying about the place. You find yourself suddenly falling. Something is still gripping your foot. As you are falling, your foot held by a giant octopus. As you fall through this place, huge shards of glass, bigger than a person, rotate off in this, and you see different things through each of them. You see, a tree burning on fire. You see a woman in a rowboat moving slowly across an empty still water. You see a man counting dead rats in a pile, and you see the inside of a prison cell. Someone scuffles around a rock, gently into place. You are falling, and you see one mirror shard coming up below you, from which you see green trees and birds in the sky. You fly through it, smash it. You land in the middle of the greenwoods. Trees high above you, great, oaken, what are they called? Base of the tree, 100-foot tall it is. The leaves blocking out the sun, speckled green light goes down. You land, and you see this giant octopus lands with you. You see it flails about for a moment, letting go of you, moving a little bit before it just starts gasping for air.
Oh no! Oh no! Okay. No! Don't do that! Is there any water? Is there any water?
You do a perception check.
Oh my god!
You see its limbs start twitching.
17.
17. You're sure that there is no large body of water around. There's some small
I get
puddles.
my water skin and I.
It is huge, so it is.
Can I pour it in
the
its
head
skills?
is about
In
yay
its
big,
skills?
yay big.
In its skills?
Give me a survival check if you know to do
You're
that.
just gonna elongate this thing's suffering.
17.
17 would be enough. You pour water over this thing's gills, and you see it's able to breathe a little bit better. For about 10, 15 seconds.
Oh, there's no water. I see none.
There's no large body of water. You're in the middle of the forest. You see it starts again.
There's nothing I can do.
So
There's nothing I can do.
as you're looking around for water, you catch a sharp reflection of light as you see a shard of glass resting on the ground. Same shard you threw down that smashed before.
I ignore that for now. I'm focused on the creature. Is it dead yet?
It's pretty close.
Ah.
You see its tentacles twitch, and then...
I cast stabilize on it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's in the
You
woods.
cast stabilize,
It's an
it
octopus.
stabilizes, it suffocates, it takes damage, it goes back to dying. Mechanically is what happens. You can
It's-
stabilize, but that doesn't seem to help.
It's an octopus.
Can I swiftly end
You
its
hear that
suffering
in your
some
head.
way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Do you want to use
Okay.
Caliburn or your old sword?
You're going to do mouth to mouth?
I think I'd be too ashamed to use Caliburn to do that.
You lift up your sword and plunge it into this thing. You see it stops gasping for air and it lies still.
Mordred scuttles over, picks up the shard of glass and then just cries a little bit in the fetal position.
By we, I mean me.
Next to the dead octopus.
I'll also, as I'm doing that, try and message my party members.
What's your range on that?
500 feet.
Fails.
Yeah,
Close.
just to see if I'm nearby. I'll message Bigby. I'll say, Bigby! Bigby!
You see,
Anyone?
you hear a kind of high-pitched voice says, "Here's Bigby." As you see a short man, very short man, about very big, bright red cap slumped over one shoulder, beard, big metal boots, steps around from the thing. Says, "Who's Bigby then?"
Oh.
Bigby's my friend.
Hey,
I'm meant to be with him.
hey,
I'm meant to be with all of them.
That's a mighty looking feed you've found yourself there.
It's not a feed.
You're not going to eat it then?
I think we should bury it.
Bury it
Yes.
for the trees.
Yeah,
A meal like that.
the irony is extreme.
What would you do?
What would I do? What would we do? We would feast upon it.
I'm vegetarian, thanks.
Wonderful. Well, for the rest of us, you see, puts two fingers. Let's add a great whistle as you see 10 or so of these little men in red hats. Open their heads. Many of them pull out large sickles. One of them has an oversized bib and a knife and fork. As you see, the one who's talking to you says, "Dinner's up, boys!" As they all jump on this thing. And there is a terrible mess as they just pull it apart near it.
Mordred just screams.
Fair enough. As that happens, the three of you in the tunnel open up to see a giant octopus being ripped apart by small men with knives, blood littering the floor, and Mordred screaming in the fetal position.
Well, he's alive. That's good.
Yeah, would my fast
The
healing...
octopus isn't going to kill him anymore.
I
don't know where the hell
Am I in the tunnel now?
No. So you
Are they-
they're in the tunnel. They can see this through
in the mirror.
start of the mirror. The mirror just hadn't been pointed at the octopus and you in the fetal position. So you can talk to each other now. You can hear that through the thing.
Mordred, where are you?
I hold it like a boomer using a FaceTime.
Like you hold it upside down first.
Yeah. Bigby?
Turn me around.
Oh.
Yes. It's me.
Put it on speaker.
Flip the camera.
Yeah, Mordred stabs himself in the side of the head.
Oh dear.
Trying to use it as a headset.
Yeah.
One hit point. Persistent bleed damage. Murdered by the mobile mirror.
Oh dear.
Sorry, we are just loving
What did
the
you do?
irony of the calamari.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even realise that.
That's what we were all laughing at.
Oh, yeah.
There was so much calamari, you didn't even eat the calamari.
That's great.
I'm a vegetarian, sorry, that's what we were laughing about. We were just like,
calamari fella.
I may have smashed the mirror.
Ah, fair enough. I guess your desperate times call for desperate measures.
And I think by doing that I killed the octopus and I watched it suffocate to death and then these people are eating it and
Mordred,
back on task.
octopus nearly killed you twice.
it's just doing what it was made for.
What's that shiny you've got there then?
Oh god.
As you see, one of them stands about knee high next to you, wiping a little bit of blood off.
I'll say it's a deeply personal part of my family history. You wouldn't be interested. And then I'll run off.
Mordred,
further.
stop showing
Give us
me
a
your ass.
deception check.
I'm not trained in deception. That's an 11.
Good to know.
These aren't like smurfs. They're just
No.
like gnomes.
Not in
I don't think
red
they're
hats.
like. I don't think they're snow and seven dwarves, right? Because it's more than seven.
But there's more than seven, yeah, but
I think
There's
it's
about
about
10 of
gnomes.
What is it?
I don't know.
Gilligan's favorite? No.
Oh, it could be.
Mildred, what did you say you ran?
Could be the Lilliputian.
No, I just kind of start backing away from the
But they're
creepy
even
men.
smaller.
Yeah.
I think, aren't they?
You see, you start heading off. You see
Oh,
one of them has the cut of the bone, beak bone of the.
Yeah.
Is that called?
Yeah.
What's that called again?
The beak.
The beak has the beak and is sharpening their scythe on it.
I think I'm gonna get pressured by a bunch of little men in red hats.
Why don't you just talk to
Red
them?
cups. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, meaning no offense.
You
ask
just
them who
give
they
them
are?
something. Just be friends with them.
That's a good idea. I'll
Oh,
turn
That's
around.
how you always solve your problems.
Are you giving advice by...
Mordred just
It's like tech support.
puts you back into his pocket, and then he says, I'm glad to have found some fellow travelers in these woods.
You see, at this point, they've all doffed their caps and are soaking up the leftover blood of the octopus.
Oh.
As you see, the one who's been talking to you continues. Speaking Fae, by the way. As you say, saying, "Hey, friends are hard to come by." You put the cap back on.
Where am I?
We sit on the bountiful ledge of the Ildridge.
Would I know? I've got Darkwood
Yeah,
lore.
it's Darkwood Law.
That's like 31.
Yep, you would know of the Ildrix as a section of Darkwoods, and you would know that the ridge of is what the inhabitants of the Greenwoods often call the Greenwoods around Darkwood.
I'll bring up
So
the
you know
color
you're
of my.
somewhere around this lot of place.
I bring up my coat where I've hidden the mirror. I think I'm in the Darkwood.
What Darkwood?
Greenwoods.
Oh, sorry. It looks strange.
Maybe see if these friends of yours can help you get out of there.
Right.
Nearby glade.
Hi friends. Would you
Hello
be
there.
able?
Drusella is
Hi.
just sitting like this
Would you be able to help me
in the tunnel
find a glade?
while you're
I
talking
afraid not.
Mordred through life.
You see, we 10 were cursed.
Cursed?
Aye, by the great demon Merlin, in days of old, not to leave this very woods till 10,000 foes be slain and eaten.
What?
We're up to 9,998 this morning. That makes 99.
Oh.
We need but one more foe to free us from our prison.
That's
Lucky
Suggest
for
that
you,
you
we're
help them.
friends.
Suggest that you help them find that last one.
I'm not going to help facilitate murder.
And you see at this point the little men starting to just, like, they form a lovely half crescent around you. as they
Please, can we
move
give
around.
Mordred a hero point?
Yeah.
That's my favourite line in
I'm not going to facilitate murder. It's probably one of my favourite lines.
Whispered into her.
I'm not going to facilitate. Give us a stealth check.
Oh my god. That's not great. That's a 6.
We're sorely sorry to hear that.
I'm sure we're actually trying to go find Merlin right now. I'm sure we can have a word with them and get them to undo this horrible spell.
You see all of them.
No, really, we know where Merlin is.
I thought you were trained in diplomacy.
The great Merlin has not been seen for some time.
I'm trained in the theoretics, yes. We happen to know where he is. I'd be happy to pass on any concerns.
You know where he is.
My friends do.
Aye. The friends who are far away.
But they're closer than you think.
Aye. How close was they start looking at that with us?
Maybe how close are you?
I don't know.
They'll be here any minute now.
Aye, indeed.
We could pop out and eat you. I don't know. Maybe we should start making our way down the tunnel.
What happens if I smash the glass again?
I don't know. Could end up further away.
Yeah.
Mordred,
in the middle of
what
the
languages do you speak? I can't see them.
Aqua
No, you're lucky.
and
Probably
common.
would land in the middle of the ocean and then drown for the 5th time.
Oh, so you don't speak Fae.
No, I don't.
My apologies, this one I've been talking to you in common.
Mhm.
You hear they start to speak a language you would recognise as Fae, but not quite sure what it would be.
Oh, so
Would
so
I
we
hear
speak
it?
Fae and you don't.
Would I hear it through the mirror?
You would hear it through the mirror, and you overhear, Diggins, Bimley, surround them, get ready to cut them off at the knees.
They're about to kill you, Mordred. Either run or help them find someone else.
I'm loving the top survival tips for a big big.
If this is how Mordred goes, it's going to be hilarious.
This is how it's meant to happen.
You're like, not another one. Just
I take the mirror. I lean over Bigby's shoulder and go, "How many, Mordred? How many?"
How many? What?
Of them?
There's 10.
You can.
We're near the Darkwoods, yes.
Nearish. It definitely looks like Greenwood where you are.
Okay, I'm not going to try that.
I mean, you can go for it if you like. I don't know what you can try. But, you don't really know how close you are.
Yeah, true. I don't really know where I am. Okay, I'll turn to them and I'll say, if I can help you find a creature to kill that isn't sentient and doesn't have any ability to reason,
Tell Mordred, I said.
would that be
that he's
acceptable?
going to have to try and
I'm
kill
afraid
all
not.
10 of them.
The creature must hate
So
us in
one is
turn
left.
in order for the spell to be broken.
Mordred, just a
It
little
must
bit of
beg.
math for you.
Beg for mercy.
If these guys try to kill you, you're going to end up killing all 10 of them. While as if you kill something else, it'll be one.
Oh, it's the trolley problem.
Mordred!
No, not really.
Mordred and the red cap trolley problem.
It's kind of.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Mordred says, I'm glad to have met some fellow travellers in the woods, and I hope that you managed to get out of this horrible pact with Merlin, but I have to leave, bye! And then I'll stop running.
You see, as you start running, you see they start looking at this one in particular, starts to joke and says, "Oh, 900, 999, I'm sorry to say you won't be going anywhere." And you see
I'm not your enemy!
pulls out a knife and says, "Not yet, you're not, but we'll take that!" And goes in for an attack roll. Just jumps with a
I'm
knife
going
at
to
your
fully die!
legs. At that moment, the three of you
10
in the
red
tunnel,
caps.
the mirror stops transferring.
Oh, shit.
Okay, how do we get to Mordred?
I think we've got to go down this tunnel. Hopefully it pops out somewhere. That's the best thing.
Right, let's book it
Oh,
then.
unless we body. No, that won't. No, that'll be worse. I was thinking maybe we smash
Water
it.
is going to be the one that gave them that thing, and when they do the 10,000th, he's going to be like, "Come on, you didn't want to." And it wasn't Merlin in the first place. It was him.
Can I try to, given that or at least a good chunk of my mirror, is broken and embedded in my body where I've viewed it, can I get an idea of how to get to Mordred through this fey tunnely thing that we've got?
Yes.
Through mirror law.
Yes, give us a Failure check.
Okay.
You've
Mirror.
got Failure, don't
I do have
you?
fey
No, let's do
law.
Failure. Just
Mirror law.
Mirror law. Go.
Mirror law. Oh, for God's sake. How many eyeballs? Ooh. I have no idea, I don't think. 18.
18. So your understanding is this tunnel leads to one specific spot,
Alright.
which
Well-
is Madsen Hall in a city under Reams.
We head there and hope to. So we know that Reims is also around that area of Darkwood because we've been to Reims.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would know the name of it.
We went to Low Marsh and we went in the
Did
woods,
get a lot much. Went into the woods a little bit. Give us a.
and then we
Give
went,
us a Failure
and then
check.
we went down to Oakenvale,
Yeah.
and then we went to Reims. So we've
You
kind
did,
of
but
been
it's-
around that edge of.
You've been around it, but it's more like knowing the name of an ocean. Something. It's fairly specific, like knowledge what the areas of Darkwood would be. So give us a survival check, not a
I'm
terribly high.
Yeah, I guess we're just.
We
I'm
can
just
use
trying to
Failure.
work out whether if we head to Ream,
Mm.
we're likely to be closer to where Mordred is, or whether Mordred is somewhere that we've never heard of. Like
Yeah.
in terms of temporary, is the
Yeah,
wood
for sure.
is the wood near Reims the one that maybe that we've heard of?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So survival. Okay. Yeah, 15.
15 will do it. It's around the right area, but we are talking. It's kind of like saying,
Yeah, it's big.
"Oh, you live in Melbourne. Do you know John?"
Yeah, excellent. That
it's-
sounds close enough. Right, because John is not in this tunnel. So we need to head down the tunnel. Which is what you said, because like it can't be further away. Probably.
Fair enough. At least
We're not
figured it
getting
out.
anywhere sitting in this tunnel.
Isn't there a like magic academy?
It is, yeah.
In
Yeah.
Reims. Yeah.
They might be able to help us.
The Dragonborn Dane can help us get to Mordred quicker.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
As
Mordred
you
will
say
probably
that,
be dead by
you
then.
see
But let's go.
cracking starting in that mirror
Oh,
away from you.
I think we just go.
Cracks more.
Yeah, let's go.
Cracks even more. The cracks crisscrossing each other as you see the mirror starting to fracture in and of itself as you see the face far away in the reflection, looking at you, mouthing something. At Bigby, you have lip reading, so you don't
I
check.
do.
You see the face
You
far
have
off in
all
a
the
reflection,
skills.
mouthing, I can help.
Oh.
Of course you can.
Is that who is it? Who I
We
think
know
it
who it is.
Face of a woman in a mirror.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
With bloody eyes.
Mm.
Whose
Whose name may or may not.
Be Mother Mary. Quite true.
I'm gonna get killed by a bunch of little men in red hats.
Yeah, that's the last message we got. It's Mordred
I'll
trying
turn
to.
around and I'll ask her what do we do. What do you need us to do?
You see the mouth again and say my name.
I'm staying out of this.
Can you
It's up to
guys can you guys heal a little bit, or are you gonna die?
I'm at 9.
I'm on 11.
Yeah. What have you got? Any healing of any kind?
No, you still on Mordred.
Do I?
I could
I
probably
don't
treat
think so.
wounds if you. We could have probably done that while you were
You
chatting.
see, as you find yourself considering this, the cracks in the mirror there start to recede and move back away.
Can I have used the
I-
time
no,
when
I
he was
haven't
chatting
had-
to Mordred to treat wounds?
Yeah,
on-
absolutely.
Yep.
You can treat wounds.
Thanks.
I will also say you've contacted this person before, and you didn't take damage when you said that.
Yeah, you just got frightened.
It was
We
only
got
when
frightened.
you dropped the name out
By
of that.
accident. Yeah.
Whether that's distinction you still hold.
And I've got the candle when it's dark, so it's,
Mhm.
it's for that shot. Okay, I'm doing it.
What are you doing exactly?
Bloody Mary.
Will save from everyone, please.
Let's take a turn.
This is so
Oh,
fun.
Jesus Christ. 15.
I
Critical
also got
fail.
15.
But I'd
Critical
done
fail.
treat wounds first, so I'm just going to roll that up.
Fail. So frightened 4 for 2 crit fails. Frightened 2 for the. Frightened 3 for the regular fail.
Frightened
you see
4.
4. Bigby, you see again. You light the candle near the mirror. You can hear again. With whom do you wish to speak?
Do I really have to do it?
I'll say Bloody Mary.
You see the mirror. Even though Bigby's holding it, suddenly angles towards you, Darren, as you say that. And we'll save 4 from 4 from 3.
Oh no.
You say the name once. Do you say it a second time?
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
you just reset the county.
Oh, you reset
No, no,
the
you
same
can-
person.
So you've said it once. You've said it once. Sorry. So you say it a second time. That's the
So
second.
my
will.
will
Oh,
save
okay.
is
I thought
16.
No, count doesn't matter too much. So second will simmer at 16. Critical fail again. So that's now feared. Add 4 onto what you had. So
Seven.
feared 7 for Darian.
I got 21.
21 is a fail, but not a critical fail. So you're feared 7 as well. And Priscilla.
So that is
What have you
21.
done to us,
So it's a
Mordred?
DC 20, so that's
I've
plus
done
10.
nothing.
So that's 2d8 plus 10.
I'm about to get murdered and eaten, so honestly, your situation is much better.
What?
At least you're not going to get eaten.
And obviously we'll get our souls taken
That's
I
true.
know.
by this
So
person with
19.
wife now.
Hit points. 19 hit points.
Oh, for me as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, I'll take it.
Because I don't think I can ward medic, which means I can do 2.
Did you want to say the third?
And then you'll get, and then I'll another will save again for frightened.
Uh, 21.
21. So so everyone's frightened.
Right.
7, right?
7.
7.
Are you gonna
Very
say that?
frightened.
Very frightened. And we need to send one more time.
Are you going to say that?
Oh, Bloody Mary.
And another
Fucking
will
fuck.
save.
That is a 19.
Crit fail.
Oh, yeah, big fail. 18.
Crit fail.
18.
Crit fail. So everyone goes from frightened 7 to
To
frightened 11.
Yeah, that's cool. I have.
We're not going to
something-
be much help.
I have 0
Now,
reflex.
do you know what my acrobatics is now? Negative 10.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah,
negative
mine's-
10. Yeah.
Mine's plus 0.
As you see the face that was far away moving a little bit closer, which each time you say it through the cracks.
DC's down to 11.
Until you
Fuck.
see
Shit.
shattered and in the black darkness the face of the woman in the mirror. As she says, I have something of yours. Would you like it back? Oh, she's fake.
Yes, please.
What will you give me?
I'm going to give you a piece of mirror.
I have all the pieces of the mirror. I don't need them. I want something you haven't got yet.
What?
You're going to go to Pebble Creek. And then you're going to go to Rings. You're going to go into the university to see your good friend, the Dean.
No!
They're going to give you 4 very special things left behind by an old friend of mine. I want one of them.
Fuck it. But question: the stuff of enchantment.
Are you
Does-
asking me or Mary?
You.
Cool.
Does it get all the previous levels as well as?
Yes.
Okay, let me just read the wording. Okay, no, it's not. It's not.
Sounds fine. I mean, it's like 1 out of 4. Sounds like a totally reasonable day.
Yeah, but we don't know what it could be.
What's the fine print, Mary?
You see, doesn't chuckle. This person doesn't chuckle, but smiles a little bit and says, "No catch. Any one of the 4, really. The point isn't that you don't get it. The point is that my old friend is disappointed."
My old friend. Do we know your old friend?
You haven't met them yet,
No.
but I think you will.
Okay.
One of you thinks they met them, but was wrong.
I'm gonna. This is not gonna work. But I'm gonna use the star
Jesus.
to attempt to suggest.
Yeah.
She just takes us to Mordred.
Is that a will save?
Yeah.
I think she was going to bring more to us.
Or just suggest that she should reunite us with our friend for free. Because we are so, such good people. Yeah.
That's a
gonna be
47.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to
Yeah,
say
the
it was going to be
DC's
70
like-
something.
like-
but-
Yeah.
Oh my
No.
god.
Is that you also?
That's the reason.
And you're down 11 points.
And your DC is also lowered by 11 for the frightened condition. So
Because you're very frightened, so you're like
So it's
shaking.
impossible.
Like a. So you wouldn't do
So
that.
you're speaking like Mordred at the moment. I think
Because you
should
can't
help us.
possibly achieve that. Would you have done that?
What?
Because you're so frightened, you can't possibly. You can't
No, I
even
just be
lift
like,
it.
I
Okay.
believe that you could
Thank
lift
you.
up the thing and cast the spell, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
work.
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You see the spell just dies in the air. She doesn't even respond.
Yeah. I tried.
While you're here, have you met King Louis?
Just asking for more drops.
No, I'm just asking if she's met King Louis. I liked King Louis.
You see, she says, yes.
In the tree, in the forest, in the place where all the people are.
Do you feel like you just need to drop this every single session?
Gisella's fascinated about this tree.
You see, she says, if you were to take another piece of the mirror on, I would take you there anytime you wished to visit.
At this
With
point,
my 9 hit points.
at this
I think I
point,
nearly died eating the mirror the last time, but Drizella is tempted.
At this point, can I just turn around to Drusella and say, if you're going to do that, can at least it be you that takes the 4th item? That takes one of the 4 items?
I don't mind.
I don't really want to steal from...
From
Possibly Merlin.
You're the only one that doesn't have a relationship with the dead. We've all met
I
the
think
dead
it's
before.
Merlin shit!
what would you like me to
Yeah, of course it's
do?
Merlin.
Eat more mirror.
I'm not
She
going to make
says,
Merlin disappointed.
So she says, yes. If that is what you want to do with the time your friend has left in this world.
Wait, what did Drizella ask?
Should she remember?
No, only in terms of, going to the tree in the forest of the place where the people are. Fine.
Fine, we'll do it.
What are we doing?
We're
Well, we
stealing
can do
one of
that.
these items.
Well, I'll do that too. I'll do that too.
What happens if you don't give up the item?
I'll let you take back Mordred.
Deal. And you see
Have you just dealt
Yes.
Mordred?
Deal,
flashes from the
undeal.
mirror.
No, I think
The
that's perfectly
candle
fine.
snuffs out, and you see
Dealt
for a
Mordred.
moment it is pitch black,
Fucking
and then
mad
the light
mirror
starts
woman.
to come in, And Mordred is running in the tunnel towards you all.
I just run into Bigby and then just.
Ow!
You've literally. Have you just. And Drizella's there going, have you just done a deal for Mordred versus double crossing the Dean? Is that what just happened there?
You've done what?
No, I just I imagine she'll just put him back in the shit he was in the first place.
I'm not sure that we. At this, Drizella just opens her cloak and like her body's like a completely ravaged mess, and there's
Mordred's
like
seen enough blood for today. He's like, ah!
intestines that aren't quite back inside yet, and like limbs that disconnect him. Goes, that doesn't, in my experience, how Fae bargains work. Just putting you back in the slightly shitty life you were in isn't quite how it rolls in my lived experience. Okay.
Darren is just sitting in the corner
I
cowering.
don't know, some item we're going to get. From
Some
the team at
item.
point.
Apparently, we get 4. We just have to give a quarter of it away to
This is your fault. You smashed the mirror. It's not our fault.
to the mirror. Otherwise, the mirror gets you, probably, or at least you get to go kill the people with the hats.
I just
Whichever.
had the most scary experience of my entire life, thanks to you.
Was that like teaching Mordred how to use a mirror phone?
That's where the Frightened 11 came from.
Yeah, it was nothing to do. Mary thinks it was her, but it wasn't. It was providing tech support to Mordred.
Oh dear.
Thanks for
Is
bringing me back.
our frightened condition dropping
It
at
is,
this
so
point?
you're
With
11.
the camaraderie and chit chat.
10, 9, just dropping stuff.
By the time it's
once
like
around.
8 or
So
7.
while Mordred,
yeah.
while Mary is still there, it doesn't drop. It stays at whatever you have, but once she's gone, it drops once more.
Okay.
So after a minute or so, you're all back to
Okay.
I stand back up after cowering in the corner for a little bit. Let's get down the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's
Can you stop sacrificing yourself for like 5 minutes? Because it tends to get all the rest of us in more shit than we're in the first minutes.
Just as a top
I
tip.
can take it.
you
What?
can take it, but what about us?
But you can't.
God, you tried 3 times.
You
in the
tried.
last 10 minutes.
You tried to save an octopus in a forest. And
It was gonna die.
of course it was. It wasn't in the water.
I tried to find it water.
It was gonna kill you anyway.
It didn't have a choice in that.
Oh. You know something? I think we should keep the 4 items.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use his help.
A
Just long enough.
And Drizella takes off down the corridor.
pass that one down. Yes.
Yeah.
Use this just long enough to get the 4 items.
Anyway.
And then Mordred can buy her a coffee.
Did you find friends?
No. I tried. They were cursed by Merlin to kill the people.
Oh.
And they wanted to kill me. And I think eat me.
Oh.
Perception check, Mordred?
Huh?
Perception check.
I don't think they wanted to kill you.
28.
Now that you're out of the moment, it occurs to you that was really probably not true.
Oh.
Yeah,
They lied to me.
probably. You're pretty sure that was a lie.
They just wanted to kill
Yeah.
whatever comes in that path.
Yeah.
They didn't actually need to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
In
I'm not sure that
looking
makes it
back,
better or worse.
I think I misread the situation.
Which one?
Trying to resuscitate the octopus? Or trying to befriend the war party of red-hatted
I
people?
have killed the octopus.
Okay, well done, Mordred.
No!
Did you bring any octopus back? Because we are pretty hungry.
Is
I
there
would
like
like some
any
calamari.
calamari bits on me?
Oh, yeah, there's viscera.
I pick some off and throw into a mouth.
You see, as you all
His
stand there,
tentacle
the
just
mirror
gets
starts
stuck
to cloud
on
back up and returns to quartz.
this. The
Well,
tentacle
there's
gets
a stuffed
stuck
calamari.
on
I'm just
Drizella's
gonna start
plague
walking down
mask.
the corridor.
You
Thanks for helping.
And I'm going to send my owl ahead.
Mm.
Because it has dark vision.
And I'm just waving at the
I've also
what
got
was a
dark
mirror saying, "See ya, thank you for the deal, thank you for saving a friend."
Thank
You see the
for
owl
saving
continues
me.
down. You see this corridor seems to continue on, turns a corner, probably goes for maybe 100 meters, maybe 150 meters, something like that. So it's, long, but not incredibly long. And then you see at the end, there's no offshoots, there's no branches, there's nothing like that. You see at the end, you see you're looking at what looks to be the back of what seems to be like a piece of furniture of some sort. It's tall,
Is it another
it's
cupboard?
quite thin. It's not too thin to be a cupboard. You're not entirely sure what it is. Without some sort of, I don't know, lore about buildings or shapes of things.
Yeah, it was like something
architecture.
like actual.
But yeah, it looks to be it looks like to be made of a kind of ashen grey wood of some kind. It looks of fine make, but you're definitely looking at the back of it. That seems to be half embedded in the wood, in the rock and stone, in the dirt that makes up the end of the tunnel.
Oh, have we made our way to that?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, unless anyone, unless in seeing that you decide you want to tell the group not to go ahead, but that's what your owl sees.
Yeah.
Cool. He comes back. As you're moving through, you have this strange sensation that every step you take here, you feel yourselves weary. It's not enough for a mechanical debuff, but just it tires your heart to walk down this passageway in a way that you wouldn't really expect it to for such a short walk.
Interesting.
But you reach the end and you see this thin piece of wooden furniture. It's tall but quite thin.
We've done so much and it's only 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
God, that's a different world.
Would anyone
Well,
like
maybe I should go last this time.
I
That's a
normally
good
would be like
idea.
recommend dinner at this point.
Would anyone like to investigate?
Anyway.
Would anyone like to knock on it? Would anyone like to stick an axe in it? What would you like to do?
Architectural law.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a door.
It's
Slash
adorable.
wall.
16 is enough. You had a rich client who once had one of these.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you would store lots and lots of things of wine in.
Oh,
You're
it's a
looking at the
wine
back of
cellar.
it. Looks to be part of a wine cellar.
Oh, is this one temperature controlled?
Usually under this type of, like this far down, it naturally is temperature controlled.
Oh.
There you
Says
go.
Bigby.
Bigby has
Because
visited
both
many
Jesse
wine
and
cellars.
Bigby would know this.
Oh, when Pathfinder and real life collide in architecture law.
Alcohol law is a
Alcohol law. is
Alcohol
one.
architecture. It's like a sub-branch of architecture.
Oh, dear.
I thought there was a sub branch of like doctor law.
It's a sub-branch of many laws.
Yeah.
Shall we
Just
go
like
in?
nature and clearance.
It doesn't. It seems you're looking at the back of a wine cellar, like a wine cupboard, and then like placed in a wall of dirt. So there's no clear way around it. It doesn't seem to open.
But you could like squeeze through it, or?
You're looking at the back of it. So you're
Oh,
looking at
okay,
the
yeah.
back of a back. It's just a stone panel.
Okay, can I make like an
Puff.
investigation
And
check
puff.
to see
Yeah.
if I can find like a secret?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna
it's
have some
perception.
puff and blow the.
I could try. Yeah, but there might be expensive wine on the other side.
Oh, screw the wine.
I was tempted just to produce
Don't
flame
you
and just
dare.
like burn it, but
It just tastes like
I will
wine.
eat
am I doing just straight
Perception.
perception? Yeah, so that'll be a
18. You look over. You kind of lay your hands on. You give it a knock. It seems to be empty on the other side. Toop, toop, and you hear the echo, but you can't find a way to open it.
18. Oh, okay. Well, if it's empty, so I might have a crack at something.
Might as well.
What did we agree that was going to be a check for?
Huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
I think so. You can use athletics. Do you have any good athletics?
Sorry?
Do you have athletics training?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Yeah. Do athletics. So there's an action you can take, which is break through, which is you try to kick down something or break a door or something like that. You can do that
Around with my...
mechanically, but
Can I lay on hands myself just while?
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
oh. Nat
20.
for a
Big
28.
takes a deep breath in. You see the little hanging bits of moss and that all pull towards you, and then and you see boom, the back of it explodes open, dirt dusting out, and you see the inside of exactly what you said, a wine cellar.
Nice.
Is
Do I
there
see any
wine in here?
There is wine in here.
Thank God for that.
I don't steal it.
Oh,
Classic.
Only if someone's...
I do.
I do.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, hold on. Was there anything in any of our things that said we're not allowed to steal wine from a wine cellar and a fae walks
No.
through?
I just consider people that can afford a wine cellar are pretty rich, and I don't really care much about rich people, so I'm going to have a glass of wine. I need one after what I just saw back there.
You see this particular cupboard seems to have, there are 4 or 5 along next to it. You see dark, worked, smooth stones on the floor, bricks leading up there. There seems to be stairs at one end that lead upstairs into the rest of the house. Metal trimmings along the walls. It's very nice.
Can I have a look at a few of these wine bottles before I pick one?
Yeah.
I want to try for the oldest vintage.
Society check.
That is 24.
You see a bottle of Amontillado that has got a little bit of dust around it. That looks to be from the middle of the 6th age. So very old indeed.
And Amontillado, does it say like which clearing it was from in the 6th age, or?
It does. You wouldn't recognize it immediately because the blades move in the ages. It would have been someone you'd heard from. It would be from, I don't know, Forlorn.
Forlorn.
Yeah, which would have been a glade you would have heard of, but you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't know where it is in a modern day comparison. Kind of like if we talked about, Estonia or something like that.
Okay.
Estonia's no country.
Can I recall knowledge?
Alright. Kind of like if we talked about, I don't know, the Visigoth nation of
Yeah, I know what you mean.
somewhere.
Gaul.
There we
Can I
go, Gaul.
recall knowledge as to if I know absolutely anything about wine, or if this is just
Yeah,
me
for
looking for the date and going, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, go for it.
And what check is that? Oh, it's a clock.
Society again, for anything history, cultural
Okay,
related.
17?
17. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to mock you then. 17 will probably give you a little bit, yeah. I think you get to
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you have your basics, so you can find your, you know, your reds from your whites,
Okay.
and
And
the
I
basics
will
of cuts.
explain some dumb thing of not as a Riesling or something, but it's like a white wine,
Yeah.
or a red wine or whatever.
Ah,
It's
yes,
16th
red
century.
wine, my
Yeah,
favourite.
yeah.
I
I'm
do
not
enjoy
that
a
posh.
Cabon Sauvignon.
It says it has fruity elements.
Mm.
It looks a bit dusty though, so I'm gonna open it.
That would be a drinking wine. That would be a trading wine, not a drinking wine. You see a dwarven man standing on the steps. Big, long, braided beard, completely bald, kind of hunched over, fur cape, warm clothes, smoking pipe held in one hand.
Mordred says, "Don't eat us! Don't eat us!"
I'm not that hungry yet.
I'm
dinner
now
is far
gonna
from me.
say,
I apologise for a rude entrance. And
that-
my friend's rude helping himself to the wine.
how much do you trade it for?
He says, I'd say 4,000 or 5,000
5,000.
gold pieces.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna put back.
And you see he mutters something in Dwarvish as he then.
You speak Dwarvish?
Do you speak Dwarvish?
Yeah, because the Thori Black Journal.
No,
Ah.
I couldn't.
No, because
I
nobody
couldn't- I
spoke
couldn't do
Dwarvish.
it.
Was
Yeah,
the whole
that
thing.
was
Oh,
I think someone's picked up a language since then, but I don't know if it was Dwarvish.
Yeah.
Nobody doesn't have Dwarvish? Gorgeous.
Sorry.
Okay. Says something in Dwarvish you don't understand, and then says, that door gets stuck again, did it?
Ah, yes.
Fair enough, fair enough. I don't think we've met. You're,
Joseph.
me, and he says, Oggins Madsen. You see, he kind of heads and it's at that point you notice the stairs are carved for someone who is of a dwarf's height of about 4 foot and a bit. There would be almost like stairs in a primary school for the rest of them. You see he wanders over and extends a very large 4-fingered hand. As he clasps on you and it says what you presume to be a dwarfish greeting.
Very pleasant to meet you.
He says, indeed. He says, I'll have to have a word with old Gurish. She hasn't mentioned anyone new coming through, but our home is your home.
Oh, thank you very much.
And you see, he says, and the rest of you,
I'm Mordred.
Mordred. And you see again, big warm handshake,
Darn.
warm double handshake.
Drizella.
Come then, so.
I love Drusilla so much.
And you see he yells out, Gurish, turn the kettle up. We've got 4 more. And you hear someone calling back something in Dwarvish. As you see, he says, well, put that one back if you would, talking about the wine. But 2 shelves above it is a lovely little vintage. I'd be happy to open to celebrate new
Okay,
things.
I'll grab that one.
You You see, he says, no, that's a cleaning product a little to the left. Wonderful. And you see, he says, we've got dinner on. You like mutton, I trust?
Oh, of course, my favourite.
Wonderful. A
Vegetarian.
bit of mutton. We've got a lovely vegetable soup for your sort as well. Mutton veggie soup. We'll have the wine. It'll be lovely. We can stretch the soup a little bit. Small sort of mutton won't hurt anybody. We'll work out what to feed the bear later, but that's an ongoing problem.
The bear?
Yes, the bear.
That's all, mate.
Is that a nickname?
No,
literally writes a bear.
your orcish friend's bear.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that guy.
Sorry, I forgot he wrote a bear.
He quite literally
I
writes.
thought it was an owl bear.
It is an owl bear.
Oh, okay.
This guy doesn't see many bears around this.
Yeah.
As you see here, he continues to lead you up the stairs.
Okay.
Real quick, what's your plan here?
Real quick,
Yeah.
as he leads everyone up the stairs, I'm not going to take the one that's like the $6,000 bottle,
Mhm.
but I wish to take one of the like middle of the road bottles
So
in the
two-
corner
Mhm.
of somewhere,
Cool. So 2 checks. 1 to identify a middle of the road bottle, so society.
or just whatever one is the least conspicuous.
That I won't do a check for. Give us a thievery check.
Or it's thievery.
Thievery is a skill.
Oh, it is a skill. Okay, I'm very untrained in this, but I am hero point, so we will use a hero point.
An excellent use of a valuable resource.
10 on the die for a hero point. Is that a 20?
No, 10 on a die is a 10 on the die.
Oh, so that's the worst.
So the 10 is the worst you can roll with it.
It's 11.
11. You see he turns
I
to
like
look at you and he
that.
says,
10 on the die. Is that 20?
it's more of a
No.
cooking wine, but I suppose if you like it.
Okay. I'll put it.
Yeah, very well then. I think one should do it. I imagine you'll all want a clear head given what's happening.
What's happening?
Well, that's what you're here for.
Yes,
Of
of course.
Wonderful. Deception.
I was going to empty pack the wine. It would have been perfect.
17.
14.
Lovely.
Let's see what my deception
Yes.
is. Not good.
Of course.
My deception is 60.
I was hoping that was good.
Right here. And you see he continues up the stairs. He says,
Yeah, totally.
this is your first time visiting the hall.
The what?
The hall.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I'll give you the grand tour later, but it's been in the family for some time. Please do make yourself home. You'll find the guest wing is on the east. My brother and I are set up in the north with the rest of the family when they're around. And of course, all your usual stuff is to the south room. And you see as he comes out, you open up into this beautiful, massive hall, this great keep. Stone walls everywhere. It's very clear that you're underground. There are windows, but it seems to be torches set up behind them just to cast a little bit of light in.
This is probably the first time we've all gone underground,
Yeah,
properly,
properly.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like that bit.
Yeah.
And we decided this doesn't count as a different
Probably not quite.
plane of existence, right?
No, this is just
Dwarven
underground.
city of Daredevil.
Are these the guys who built the railway?
Yes.
The dwarves built the railway, yes. You don't know if these particular ones did, but yeah, the dwarves are the ones.
I would ask them in the particularly racist way of, he's a dwarf.
Mm.
And we've been on a railway built by dwarfs. So even though this dwarf appears to be pretty, well dressed
Yeah.
and doesn't particularly look like maybe he digs tunnels for trains, still going to ask. Do you have anything to do with the railway?
You see, he stops walking. He says, railway? No, I'm in the steamboat business myself.
Oh.
A patron of the proud Mary. Oh, sorry, no. Slip of the habit. Trade of the diamond drover, as we're calling it now, in the river. The trains and that are none of my business.
I wonder if his captain is Willie.
And you see, he says, frightful bit of local stuff there, but I'm sure you know all about that. They told you about the situation, didn't they?
Oh, they were light on details.
Oh, right, well, plenty of time for that over dinner after you meet up with the rest of your friends.
The rest of
You see, he continues you up the stairs, down this great hall. You see stairs going
Typhus?
up again, and into a large, looks to be a meeting room.
Oh, this is
of
the
some sort.
order.
Oh, I should play the dwarvish music. I'm just remembering after
That's
the
right, this is the order. I completely forgot why we were here.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. So this is the Order of the 11th Eye that Dame Gothel recommended you meet. Beautiful great hall, huge fireplace, second story balcony running around there, bookshelves, little desk, little sitting area, that sort of thing.
Is that same one that I tried to break into, or is this a different one?
Yeah, different place. You were trying to break into the Order Arcane. Different.
Yeah,
So that is where you met Titus.
yeah. I think we were there together, weren't we? Or was it a different place again? No, I think we were both there.
You were both there, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So you've been let in with Bogan. You see, walking around the corner comes another dwarven man, big mutton chops, curled beard, pot belly, bright blue, walks with a cane. He swings around just a little bit too much. You see he walks out in a very thick dwarven accent. Yes, more friends that we have met. And you see he said, meet to you it is good, meet to you it is good.
I'm Mordred.
And you see he says, yes, hello, my name is Gurish. In more or less okay. And you see Oggs, Oggs says something in Dwarvish and then says, you must forgive my brother, his manners are nicer in his common tongue. The language we speak is more forgiving of his miscourtesies.
I perfectly understand.
And you see he says, he is, however, a fantastic hand in the kitchen. Helps the staff himself, you know.
Oh, fantastic.
And you see Gurish says something in Dwarven to his brother and then heads off down the hall, waving at you all as he goes.
I've had a small stint of working in the kitchen myself.
And you see he says, oh, indeed. And how much you've risen since then.
Indeed.
You see he says, now, I will let your friends know that you've all arrived. Make yourselves comfortable, please. Sit. Call for the attendants if you need anything. They speak enough common to get by, halfling handed like that. And they should be in any time now.
Can I say to them? I'll say, our friends may not quite be expecting us yet, so.
Early.
Yes.
We trusted your services would be worth what we're paying for them. And says, best of luck. And remember, if you need anything at all with the shipping company, just mention my name and it should all be sorted.
Take a seat and say,
I'm just
for
gonna,
one,
yeah,
thank you.
be like,
What's going on?
Says, we'll save the good stuff for dinner, but I'll send out a white. Wines for anyone else?
Yes, please.
yes, please.
We have some Dwarven lager if you care for some strong.
Oh, I'll take Dwarven Lager.
Oh, I'll
Sounds
take the wine.
fantastic.
Wonderful. A few wines and some lagers. I'll send out a tray or two, and you see wanders off, leaving you alone in this beautiful hall.
Fantastic. Well, I might have a little bit of a wander around.
Yeah, you jump up. You're looking around this room. You're wandering back the way you came.
In this room.
Yeah, perception check. What's everyone else going to do while BB starts?
I'm going to cast Translate on myself,
Oh, nice.
and I'm going to go and start looking around for things I can read.
I've got two of them. I might as well use them. They're older than one.
You immediately see on the mantelpiece there is a great book, about yay big, leather bound, but on the front reads The Most Marvelous History of the Magson Clan.
23 perception.
23 perception. You look around. Looks like this is kind of an entertaining room, kind of an office. It functions a little bit as both. You suspect that kind of off that way there's some more personal office spaces, research rooms, that sort of thing. There's lots of your sort of standard reference books, the encyclopedia sets, maps, charts, that sort of thing. Almost like planning room would be the appropriate term. There's a few bits and pieces. There's a couple of lightly enchanted quills you find on desks that look of interest. They need to sit down to know exactly what they do.
What about glean contents?
Glean contents, I think that lets you know what's in stuff quite quickly.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you glean the contents of the bookshelf, so you know roughly the sort of books that are there. And your that's odd
Getting
feature.
loose papers and carefully discerning the contents of sealed letters and stuff without damaging the seal.
Love it. You notice something that's a little odd, though. In amongst the books, exactly as you'd expect, there is one that is quite different. Instead of these reference books and maps and that sort of thing, you see a large blue book with a white star on the front.
Okay. Do I recognise that star?
You do. This was the same star that was on the book the Beast King had, entitled A Hypothetical Treachery. an obscure bit of political law talking about,
How to take over the world, essentially.
yeah, kind of, weaknesses in certain systems. It is exactly a hypothetical treachery, how you could, all of the weaknesses and problems present in most of the governing bodies of the different...
Is it the same book or is it a different title?
Same title.
Okay, yeah.
So they're probably problems.
And as you look at, you see the corners are quite worn and it seems to be quite an old, used copy.
Yeah. Oh, I think that'll be enough for me to go sit down again.
Cool.
Yeah.
Drizella,
Can I do a political class law?
Mm.
These guys we were talking
Which?
to. they're-
Oh, sorry, yeah. You were saying.
like the area we're in, like, I mean, obviously rich, but does this look like businessman rich? Like, as in they're a shipping company? Does this all like align with, how
New
they're
money or
speaking?
old money?
Like,
Yeah, give us a political class check.
Um,
Give us a society check, or you can use one of your laws.
Even though my society is better, I'm still going to use political class.
Cool.
28. I just want to know, like, does all this align, or is
Okay.
this like secret back, front of house is actually fake, kind of?
No, this is old stone. This is old money, but it looks like the business side is true as well. This is an office, but it's practical. There are people do work here. The way they were speaking does sound like they have some sort of stock in this business.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly that little turn of phrase he used. Oh no, I'm in steamboats. The sort of thing of, it sounds more like an investor maybe than an actual owner of a company or a worker there. But similarly, they're not just like landed gentry. They're somewhere in the middle there.
Okay.
So definitely, they're probably vaguely connected to some sort of aristocracy.
So yeah, they're probably like.
someone that JP Morgan basically used the money for.
Yeah, they're basically like inherited old money or something.
Yeah.
And then invested that in steamboats.
Yeah. Got it.
That would be somewhere around that. Drizella, anything from you in those couple of months that you saw?
Drizella has found a seat and has a glass of wine and is sitting. Drizella's got 9 hit points and is wounded and is basically just,
Can you not heal yourself with treatment as well?
I've used my treat wounds on you two.
No,
I've used all my heals on Mordred. I'm drinking wine and mulling over the fact that you appear to have traded Mordred with some kind of fey entity. And and I'm not sure how Drizella feels about
You
that.
see a couple of halflings come out in, sort of maids and servants uniforms holding trays of drinks. You see one of them says, "Pardon, milady, you're bleeding on the couch. Could we get you some bandages?"
Drizella looks down and looks where she's bleeding and just takes a bit of skin off one of the legs that's not bleeding and just covers it over and goes, "It's fine, thank you."
Very well, milady.
I'll touch Drizella on her shoulder and I'll say, "Let's not bleed on our guest furniture." And I'm going to cast a level 3 heal.
Looks like a black leather sofa. Nobody could see that.
Mordred, with the translator, you overhear them speaking Halfling to each other, which is a secret language. As you see one of them...
38.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
That is very
as
nice.
you see one of the Halflings says to the other, "They're even stranger than the last one."
I am slightly worried what they think we're here to do.
You hear the sounds of some sort of animal
you.
scuffling on the floor. Dum, 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 dum. Something big. As you see, running around the corner comes the mighty, feathered form of a owlbear. Huge forequarters, great bristling feathers all over it. Little wings on the forelegs. Dum, 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 as it launches into the air at Jesse.
Oh no,
give
we
me a
need
reflex
to.
save.
We can't kill the owlbear.
Does it look filled
No,
with
he's trying to
murder?
hug me.
Perception check.
We need to befriend the
As it comes around
owlbear.
the corner, I'm just going to look at the owl on my
24?
shoulder and go,
It's a 9.
"You're not going to get that big, are you?"
You see the owl cuts a head of it and goes, Um,
24.
it looks friendly, and
Okay.
you see it leaps up, grabs you on the shoulders, lands you on the floor, looks you dead in the eyes, and goes.
I love it.
And you see you then hear
That's
from
so
down the
cute.
hallway, "Justice! Easy boy!" As you see,
I love Titus.
apparently B's favourite character.
I love this guy.
As you see an old grizzled orc, salt and pepper mustache, still dressed fully in his ranger's gear, like worn, weathered leather armour, big metal gauntlets. Bow slung over his shoulder despite, again, being inside. Hood down, though, you see his bald head a little bit around the corners there. As you see, he says, "I recognise those sounds. That's you, not, isn't it?" And he looks about, and just for a moment is like, thinking, goes, "No, we left on good terms, didn't we?"
Yes, we did.
"Excellent," you see, helps you up. You see, he says, "Mordred, lad!" You see, embraces you. He smells so much of pine needles, it's bizarre. Wanders over and says, "Drusella, looking healthy as ever." And then, I don't think he's met Darian yet, has he? I think you've kept avoiding each other. As you see, he says, "And you, lad, what's your name?"
Darian Sands.
"Titus Kythe." You see, he gives you a very strong handshake.
Mm.
You see, he says, "Good. Glad you made it. I've been in touch with the old lady, Gothel. What's your name, Ford? Said you were very good in a crisis.
We try.
Well, we've got one here, I'll tell you that."
Does it have tentacles?
Nope.
Good.
It's got something, well, it has tentacles of a kind. Tentacles of political corruption.
Oh,
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
that's kind of.
I have to deal with that.
Our favourite kind
Sounds
of
like a
tentacles.
conspiracy mystery for me to unsolve. I love it.
You
I've
see,
been
he
itching for a
says-
new mystery.
You see, he says, "Listen, Orion will give you the full rundown when he gets here, but the short version is we've got some local trouble we want you to help us out with, and in turn we'll give you a good turn also."
Sounds good.
You see, that's right, fantastic. And you see, he says, "Justice, in your spot." And you see Justice curls up in front of the fireplace.
Aww.
As Titus kind of takes and he half sits down, laying against her. As you hear the footsteps of other people approaching. So you see, he says, "That'll be the rest of them then." And you see, he says, "Feel free to stand if you like."
Awkwardly.
Sit down.
You see a couple of people enter in quick succession. You see, at the front, you see a white-haired woman in a blue robe with a large staff, very kind of scholarly outfit, walking through, kind of regards the four of you for a moment, and then just kind of takes a stand in a spot in the room, looks about you and goes, "Hello."
Hello.
Hi, I'm Mordred.
"Hello, Mordred. My name's Amelia."
Can I do some more political class law?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking for two things. Like obviously the staff robes, this sort of stuff.
Mm.
Is this like a magician sorcerer kind of thing? Like, can I eye
Definitely
it?
looks spellcaster.
Spellcastery, but like what type of spellcastery?
That'll be a check, but yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing I'm looking at, like basically that is obviously this person's quite powerful by the looks of their appearance, but what sort of check would that be? Political
Probably
class,
society. Yeah, probably society. When
23.
you say powerful, do you mean like politically powerful or magically powerful?
I mean, I'd be trying to eye up both, but
You can do either skill then. They'll tell you slightly different things.
I'll just do. I can do Arcana. I'll do 26 for Arcana.
26.
Just focusing on like the magical side because it looks like a very magical. person.
Wizard. Arcane magic.
Okay.
Wizard, arcane magic, they definitely carry themselves as someone with an air of... They don't seem worried about four strangers they've never met.
And they seem like very like educated.
You see, shortly after her enters a bald man, some tattoos across where his hair would have been, beard, kind of a similar sort of robes, but a little bit more. He's got a few component pouches. His staff has got a few ropes wrapped around it, that kind of thing. Looks a little bit more of the sort of person you'd see out and about in the world.
She
not
sits
quite
the
druid.
ivory tower.
Very much so,
Yeah.
yeah. See the two of them enter. And then you see wandering in on one of the upper balconies, you see what looks to be a kind of young teenager in a purely black dress, dead straight black hair, very pallor complexion, fiddling with some sort of...
It's like Mordred.
A little bit Mordred, but more like...
Wednesday.
I imagine Mordred looks like he needs a nap. This person looks like they need a shower.
Oh, yeah.
You see, they don't introduce themselves. You see the bald man heads in, takes a seat, kind of in the chair.
Oh,
Uh,
is that owlbear asleep in front of the fire?
the owlbear is asleep in front of the fire.
Sorry, I'm down on the map. I'm
That's
sorry.
all
Can I command my owl to go and
And the
muzzle itself
owlbear.
into the owlbear?
The owlbear.
Oh,
You
That's
can,
okay. You can have the
and
free.
you see the owlbear.
When you get down to the map, you'll see why that's so exciting.
I love it.
And you see that the bald man looks over and smiles, and says, "That's lovely to see, isn't it?" Yes. I'm hoping that can be a symbol of our budding friendship.
I will say.
I hate this person already.
Sorry. Continue.
I will say. Absolutely, it's
See, that's it. I fucking hate this man.
I want to say this friendship will absolutely continue, and I'm going to try and make an impression. Like,
You need 10 minutes.
yeah, but like, I'm gonna continue the conversation with this person if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, he says, "My name's Astyrus Cracks.
Stars cracks.
You can call me you can call me Ori if you like."
Or
Nice to meet you. You see, he says, "I understand you're friends of Mother Gothels."
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see the woman just looks over to him with a raised eyebrow, and so he kind of waves off and says,
no, I'm just like we've like made so many pacts with people. I'm like, have we accidentally made a pact with Mother Gothel?
I think she's
I think she's, she's
just turns out she's the physical form of the one in the mirror.
I tap the tooth
Yeah.
and go, what precisely exactly have you signed us up for?
You see, she says, "I said you'd help out with some local trouble, and then give you a lift in somewhere else you needed to go. It's a good deal. Feel free to walk away if you don't like it. Also, I packed some extra travel cakes into all of your packs. I hope you enjoy."
Oh, travel cakes.
Oh, yeah.
Give one to the owlbear.
Oh God! I'm going to give like hash cakes to the Albert and Mother Gothel's special brownies. Like,
Oh,
don't
God.
give Mother Gothel's special brownies.
all I'm
To the
imagining
owlbear.
owl is Aristotle and that owlbear just like glazed out their eyes by the fire.
Oh,
But
God.
look, you're not seeing the look. Look at the Albert. It's so cute.
I got the little token next to the fire.
Yeah, I saw that when you put it up on the screen.
No.
He's lying down. He's like, oh, sleepy. Yeah, his new favorite. Sleepy Owlbear. Just stay
Mordred's
here.
going to try and break the awkward silence and say, so how do you know Mother Gothel?
And you see Osiris says, "We came to her some years ago, hoping she could help us find Merlin."
I'm also
We got her a
looking for
new
Merlin.
sideboard.
Did you ever find him?
You see he shakes his head and says, "No, unfortunately, there has been no contact with Merlin in some time. I fear the trail is going cold."
I will speak up and say, I might help with you that trade.
And you see that he stands up and he says, "How so?"
I'm going to repeat the directions as to.
Yeah, you talk
I
about
heard
south of the
this
river, north of West Forge. So he says that is a significant lead.
It's a very broad area, but
It is more than we have had in my lifetime.
can I remember who actually told me this? It was
A voice
A
you
voice, yeah.
a voice.
heard while
so,
dying, I think.
so it's on the scale of like believability. This is like I will say like with
"'Twas
some
revealed
future-
to me in a dream."
Yeah, basically like I trust it, but also it's not like Mother Gothel told me this. You know, like it's not like someone.
You see he looks over to the woman and says, Amelia, would you, and you see, before he even finishes, you see she looks over and says, your hand? You see she grips it very practically, turns it over, traces some lines on your hand, pulls off a small, like almost splinter from her staff, pricks the centre of your hand, takes the blood of a small vial.
It'd be so funny if I cast thingy right now. Rolling
Blood.
for-
Drusilla is watching this.
It looks much more magical than it does in the
I kind of want to just
bleeding
like just start bleeding out.
Takes
No,
the thing in a small vial, swishes it around, holds it up to the light, and you see your blood goes from the red it sits to a blue, to a purple, to a red, and then turns to vapor in the jar, and then condenses down. And you see she turns and says, and just nods. You see he says, fantastic.
It is a very interesting.
That's a very rapid
does it do?
test.
You see she says,
We need one of those.
I'm looking for traces that you've been contacted by me.
Oh,
You see she
was
says,
it positive?
And you see she nods. You see she says, this staff, you see she shows her this bone white wooden staff, a few bandages of sort of like leaflets of material at the top, mostly just plain. She says, contains a small piece of his staff.
Well,
Don't.
no, I'm not going to. I'm just going to say, well, Aristotle over here was
I forgot that was the name of your
summoned.
I thought you were just
Talking about how bad.
I thought you were just talking about some like one of the other people. Aristotle, I think.
Was Mother Gothel helped me summon Aristotle with one of Archimedes' feathers as well.
You see the two of them share a look for a moment as you see the woman continues and says, that is a good sign. And you see kind of takes a step back and you see Astyrus, the bald man, kind of walks up to you and says, if you've been contacted by Merlin, then he must have chosen for a reason. If you have even something like an area to search, we would be willing to head there very, very soon. We are fortunate enough to have the capacity to travel very quickly. And assuming you came here through the Fey trades,
Yes.
there are many, many of them that run across the world. And one of our number, some time ago, managed to find most of them. And then you see Titus Skype speaks up and says, I found bloody all of them, mate, you know. You see, he says, maybe all of them, we're still not sure.
Just out of game for a second. How many of the Tuathdon or whatever they are there?
About 20
it's not
something?
funny.
20?
20 something.
20 something.
To say with more certainty.
I'm going to say, how many did you find?
You see, that's
I
a
love
good
this.
question. Give me 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see, Titus Skype says, there are 8 total.
I suspect there might be more than that.
As
But
in
that's
8
just a
sets or
hypothesis.
just 8?
He says, there are 8 sets of 4, making the number of 24 the
Oh, okay.
primordial number.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yes, we came on the majors one.
And you see, he nods and says, Gothel is still stationed near. Go back then. Good. And you see Astyrus kind of cuts into your conversation. As you see, he says, we have the means to get very close to Westerforge quite quickly if need be. There's a small problem.
Isn't it Avalon? Or, no.
Yeah, it's in
Westerforge
Avalon,
is
so
in
I kind of don't want to go to Avalon, but I kind of want to go to Avalon. I want to go to Camelot, not Avalon, but like.
I want to go to Avalon first.
You do? Oh yeah, because you don't want to.
I don't want to go back to Camelot.
do you say that one in character or just?
No. That was just purely me
No.
being like,
Yeah.
like
You give Mordred a look.
Camelot
Mordred
gives me
you a look.
cool vibes, but like that's just me as a
Morgana.
You see, he says, if you are willing, we would send some of our number to investigate there as soon as possible. And if we find anything, we could send for you.
That sounds fantastic.
Excellent.
Can I insight check as they're
Yeah,
saying
for
that?
sure.
I want to sense their motives.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's right.
Can I use a hero?
Anyone
Or
else can
not.
get in on this as well? If you want to?
Yeah, I'll try and sense motives.
That'll be a 23.
I'd like to do it from a distance, reading their lips though, so they don't actually know that I'm.
Sense motive is which check again?
Perception.
Perception. Oh. 25.
30.
All of you succeed. In fact, 30 I think is no, 30 isn't quite a crit success. What you get, Astyrus, the man, seems very hopeful. You see Amelia seems not dishonest, but seems doubtful. Not quite sure.
Possibly us.
Which you might think is dead.
Yeah.
And you see Astyrus says, if we can find Melon, we can set about and fix it.
Everything that's been happening.
Can you... Yeah, can you explain... Because I know some about Merlin, but not everything. He's obviously a lot more... He's obviously done a lot more than I know. How will he fix this, and what has his disappearance caused?
You see nods. You see he says, we are what remains of Merlin's order, the Order of the 11th. So he says, a very long time ago, Merlin forged this order to try to help as many people as possible, try to get magic out of the hands of the kings and those who could hire mages and into the hands of the common folk.
Okay, I just nod and almost bow as they say that.
He did not succeed. Instead, he created the door that would guard off the common folk from magic, and that was what our order once functioned as. A very bad thing happened, and another person took Merlin's place as head of the order. A very powerful young mage, though we don't quite know. We do not speak her name. She used the order as the militant arm to create a great and terrible empire, the Arnon Empire. We sit in their shadows still today. They occupied the entire land that you would know as the continent that we're on currently. So everything from Camelot, south down to Radishar, over to the west coast and to the Bricks Lakes was all under her rule.
And what happened to that?
Merlin worked with a friend of his named Craven.
Mordred visibly pales and almost passes out.
They found the Mirror of Eritas and used it to
our
bind
mirror.
the cruel Empress.
Is that the shards of the mirror that you
Those are the
said?
shards.
I knew she was... Sorry, I'm fine.
Hang on, say that again. So
They
used
used
the mirror.
they used the Mirror of Eritas that had given this Empress such power. They tricked her and trapped her in the mirror.
Oh,
And
so
then
she's
they shut
married.
it, casting the shards about the world, so she could never be free.
So Mary was. Oh.
Mordred.
Can I get a will save from everyone? So you just say Mary.
Oh.
Why did it say
Even half of it in this place.
28.
Feared
24.
1. Feared 1.
Oh.
Feared 1.
Oh, less than that. 20.
20. Feared 2.
Yeah.
Not as bad, but you just see the walls just shake slightly, and you just hear every bit of glass nearby as if it's strained to almost breaking point. As you see, he looks back and says, "That was her name. When there are this many of us in one place, we do not even speak it."
I'm very sorry.
It's all right. And you see he continues.
Can I interject quickly?
Yeah.
I am not frightened of her at the moment.
As you say,
I am
the place
more.
shakes yet again.
Oh wow! I am more frightened of Darren, who Bigby, who speaks in rhyming couplets, and the ability. That's where the fear is coming from. It's less around the shaking and the tense glass, and more around the oh my god, we may get murdered by each other because. Like this level of not being allowed to say certain things is virtually crippling.
They're going to have so many pets at some point, we just can't say a word.
No, we're going to do the entire session in sign language.
Well, I am teaching all of you all the sign language to do, so that's what I've got to say.
You can read lips. We could just do it in mime, like Poirot. Back to Poirot.
Love.
That's
More-
Pierrot.
Oh yeah, just when they said that Merlin was with Craven, Craven, I'll say, did Craven help Merlin?
Oh yes,
Do you know anything about Craven?
much. They worked together to overthrow the Empire, but eventually Craven became too apart from Merlin as they sought different things for Arnhem Land. Eventually they had to part ways, and he's not been seen since. I wonder if perhaps they found each other and share the same fate.
It'd be good if they were together again, I suppose.
You see, he nods. You see, he says, after the Empire fell, Merlin was, in order to trick the Empress, Merlin had to swear himself to a family, swear himself to a high-ranking member of the Empire and all of his children. That man was the great-grandfather of the Uther Pendragon. Merlin was bound and promised to serve the Pendragons since then.
Mordred then falters fully and then just saves himself on his sword.
You see, he says, but the last of the Pendragons is childless and aging, and soon, when he passes, Merlin will be free of his pact and able to help us once again.
Who's the last of the Pendragons?
An aging king by the name of Arthur. He rules Camelot now, or he rules it.
I don't mean to interject here, but is Morgana Le Fay not also a Pendragon?
You see, Amelia looks you over for a few moments, clearly thinking about something. As you see, she then says, "That is not a problem."
Okay, cool.
As you see, Merlin is not swayed by her, so far as we know.
What is the nature of the pact with the Pendragons?
You see,
why is it only on their death that he can, or can he ask permission from this Arthur? Or
you see, Astara says Pendragons have had the most powerful mage of our age, and of any age perhaps, under their control for generations, and have failed to do anything to save the troubles of the world. Clearly they do not want it to happen. I think Merlin has gone into hiding to avoid the whims of the aging Arthur.
has Merlin tried to pass on his knowledge to others to take up that mantle?
You see Astaris opens his mouth and Amelia cuts him off and says, "Nothing that we can confirm. There are rumours, of course, but we do not know anything." You see Astaris kind of nods solemnly and says,
Can I sex motive?
"Yeah, for sure."
Oh.
That's 20.
20. You think Amelia is concealing some sort of information, though it's hard to tell what.
Then I trust us
Or
that
even,
much.
or even the scope of it. It's hard to know if this is a small deal or a big deal. You see, Astaris says, if we can find Merlin and restore him to as he was, we can start to make some progress.
So is your intent to kill Arthur Pendragon?
No, he's a man of 80. Time will take care of that for us.
Okay.
And you see Amelia looks to Mordred and says, "Or Morgana."
Would it be possible to break the pact without the king dying?
You see, Astara says, absolutely not. As far as all of my research indicates, he is bound to the Pendragon bloodline. And while any of that number live, he cannot use his full power freely.
I'm just like giving you that looks, but
What?
like Darren will be like staring at you, like you know what I mean. Yeah. Just to get a message across and then carry on with this conversation. And what of the nature of his disappearance? How much do you know about that?
You see, he says, frustratingly, almost nothing. We know when he disappeared. We know that it had something to do with the university above our heads. And we think he was going to talk to some Fae. But we don't know who, we don't know where, and we don't even know what day he left.
I thought we knew it was Queen Man. Queen Titania.
Can you cross-reference that? You're welcome to share that information if we.
I just want to see who we heard it from, and
Which will be cross-referenced.
Yeah. Is this in the conjecture page, or is this in the like cross-reference cited and delivered kind of page?
This was
Computing.
Gothel told us. I'll speak up at this point and I'll say, when we spoke with Mother Gothel, she told us that Merlin was meeting with Queen Titania of Fey Courts.
And you see Astaris very quickly says, she has her theories, but that is not possible. Titania and Merlin have never spoken.
Why not?
I don't believe they could. And you see, he says, Merlin is a focal point for the arcane, in the same way that Mab and Titania are for the primordial magic. Two sources of magic together like that, it could not be.
Interesting.
Of course it could. It's just not got very much imagination.
Am I like within earshot of this conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Within now
I would
free
like
shot.
to say, and I'd like to use a point of question to do so.
Mm.
Nice.
Are you so sure that Arthur does not have any heirs that he may not be aware of? Or that you may not be aware of?
Point of question is will save or perception check?
I attempted a diplomacy check against the creature's will, you see.
Lovely, go for it. Give us diplomacy.
17.
17. I'll tell you that's a quick fail.
Okay.
You
the
see,
target can refuse to answer you as normal, and its attitude towards you decreases by 1 step.
you see a little look comes across his face as you kind of get it. Because very accusatory sort of question to come out with. I think that's how pointed question works. It's sort of like, tell me this.
It can be in a charming way, or it can be in a
Okay.
If it critically fails, I feel like there's a point.
sort of way. Well, I think I was trying to be a charming sort of way, but it comes off as like cheesy or like.
You see, he looks at you. He seems to be a very earnest person, and you see he kind of just looks at you for a second, and you feel like he can't. He's like savoring the falseness of that question. If that makes sense. And you see he answers and so he says, impossible. We have studied the Pendragon line very closely. We would have found an heir if there was one. Not to mention the sword and Camelot, of course. And you see he
Mordred
says-
just hides the sword behind his back.
Oh, yeah, like that's gonna.
Not draw attention to
huge!
you.
You see, he says, we've done every sort of genealogical tracing spell we can find. As far as we know, unless there's been great efforts taken to hide one, there is
So that would be not
Yeah.
certain.
In other
that-
words, there's been
Pardon?
great efforts to hide you. Do not fucking tell anyone.
and you see he then says, I'm not sure how much you know, but Merlin disappeared from Camelot on the last night of the strife of Camelot. I think Arthur may have been trying to force him to create an heir for him, if such a thing is even possible.
Do you know your birthday?
He's shooting blanks or something.
I was going to say, that's a very
and you
rude
see-
thing to
you
force
see he
someone
says,
to do.
the line of Pendragon has struggled with children for generations.
I-
Hence why there is so few of them left.
Mordred doesn't know his birthday. He was
Doesn't?
he was found in the woods.
What year? Do you know what year?
336.
What year was the strike that came along?
336.
Do you do genetic magic tests on people, or just on things?
You see, they say.
There's a horse.
You see, Amelia says,
I'm just asking.
You're trying to get him killed again.
You see, Amelia says,
I'm just
casting
asking.
tests on people is quite simple. I can do a check for any air in 500 feet, so anyone in this city, and you see cast a spell. Cast the spell. Mordred, can you please just sit tight? Nothing bad's happening. Cast the spell. Nothing happens, and says, "We would know if anyone in the city was there." But there are.
Interesting.
You were
We've tried I've been to most glades. And tried that spell.
I don't think I am. I'm.
Okay, thank
don't
God.
think
I'm
you're-
not. I thought I might have been there. But
I'm
it's not
loving
me, so good. That's good
the
to
level of
Yeah,
panic
we all
And you
just
see,
around the room.
Astara says, "Don't be ridiculous. You're far too old. They'd be more along the line of your age of your friend."
Interesting.
Mordred gets excited for a second, thinking that he might find out what his proper bloodline is, and then doesn't get any information.
I go. I usually find things out from corpses. Carry on.
We
You
have
see,
You've
Amelia
had
looks
plenty
at
of
you and says,
opportunity
"That
in the
can
last
be useful."
Okay.
What'd you say?
I'm not as
Had plenty
familiar
of
with
opportunity in the last
what the history of Camelot when Merlin
That's
was there. What was Arthur's
Yeah, I
life
could have
like?
done some
Did he
forensic
do
acumen
some good,
several times.
or has he always had a tight fist around Merlin and controlled him? Or
You see, Astara says, "I only met Merlin personally a few times.
Wounded Sam.
When I was quite young. Arthur inherited a terrible war from his father that I think he did his best, but the country was ravaged by war, the coffers empty, the harvest going to the soldiers, famine struck him. He spent most of his life putting down various rebellions. If you believe the stories, he died fighting one such war and was brought back.
Who brought him back?
Merlin, of course.
Of course.
and how is the Avalon Camelot tension going?
And you see, he says, they're still at war in name, though few battles are fought beyond some petty skirmishes. Both sides are drained of money and I think willpower. The war has lasted near 80 years.
Wow.
When was the last Thunder?
253 years ago.
Okay, so it's this age.
Yeah.
Really?
So the empire he was talking about for the Arden Empire, that was the previous
Sixth
age.
age, yeah.
That's 352 years ago.
Really? 3?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well overdue.
That's what people keep telling us.
Now, with Merlin
So
gone, what does the Order do within the world? What was the role in society?
Merlin was, before his disappearance, Merlin was working on a theory. He believed something was happening. A collective fear was forming. Something terrible, potentially, coming back. He thought we need to prepare for it.
The Horn King return?
And you see Emil at that point kind of pays proper full attention to the four of you for the first time. As you see, she says, how do you know that then?
We found the Horn King's tomb.
You see, she says, excellent. Is it nearby?
Yeah.
Fucking knew it. And you see turns to Astara and says, I have been saying for 2 years it was near here, and you did the maths wrong.
Just around the corner.
You see kind of straightens off her dress and says, okay,
Also,
that's good. That's a good thing to find.
Also, Mother Gothel recommended we help destroy a seed in the Beast King
You see,
that could potentially turn into the Horn King.
You see, Amelia nods and says, there have been a few of those that have surfaced in recent years. There are rumours, if you ask the right people, that he is returning. And that is enough to cause more fear for anyone who has heard the stories of his first war.
Mordred will also say at this point, we also met Momway who seemed to be serving the Horned King.
You see, as Cyrus says, we've encountered her as well. I don't know what has happened, what fate has befallen her, but we hope to fix it. You see, he says that is why we must find Bernard. Nianwei was his apprentice. He can help her. He had a plan for what is coming. He can fix the mirror. He can fix what's happening with the Horned King. It will all be okay if we can just find her.
What's this pact that we need to get rid of? I'm sorry, I think I missed that bit. What's the pact that we need to get rid of? I think I missed that bit.
He promised himself to. He made a pact with the Dragons.
Yeah.
Under duress or something. What was the?
In order to trap Mary in the mirror, he needed to help with
Yeah.
someone on the inside of the Empire, which was an ancestor of the Pendragons.
Okay. And so why he has to continue to help the Pendragons? He's
Yeah,
like,
He
dead to them,
swore to
basically.
serve that. He swore to serve that person and any of their children.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to ask.
What does that mean? You can tell me.
And what
Why
do
would
you
that
know?
Who?
You see, Cyrus says, "Why would that be?"
Oh, I was saying that. It's Jessica. But okay.
That's fine.
I'm just going to say.
I'm convinced.
There's one piece we know
It's true.
less than we would like about, and that is Arcadia's history.
You see, he says, "What do you know of history in general? Have you read the tales of the time?" You see,
I'm going to just say no for
Yeah.
argument's sake. I want to draw.
you see, he says, there was a god, probably. We don't know exactly what it is, but we think a god, or a fae, maybe a demon. They were known as the Stag Lord, the Merry Stag Lord by some. And a long time ago, he was a figure of great joy and happiness in the world. He would carry bountiful foods into the glades to feed everyone. He brought springtime and joy. He created the clearings from the woods, depending on who you ask.
Theory.
And then he turned sour and cruel. The stag lord with flesh melted from his bones and the kindness bled from his heart, and he turned into the Horned King. Arcadia was once green Arcadia, merry Arcadia, a place of bounty and beauty. And you see, Amelia cuts in and says, "So say the fairy tales." You see, he looks back and he says, "Some of us think that they are based on truth." Very little written record survives from the second age, from before Arcadia turned. But that is what I think was the case. It was a place of beauty, and something happened to it to turn it terrible and dark. I think the same thing has happened to me right now.
Oh.
I've got two theories. But
Okay, has it been long enough to make an impression?
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a make impression check. So that's diplomacy. Anyone who wants to?
I would like to.
I'm already down one anyway.
No, you would have been back now. It's been over a turn.
21.
No, that's not just for one turn. That's if you drop impression, that lasts permanently.
Oh no, you're sorry. I was meaning the fight in from before.
No,
Oh,
I
no,
meant
no.
from the. I meant since the pointy question.
Okay.
Diplomacy results.
21.
21,
17.
17,
31.
31. None of you feel like you're carrying these people's favour particularly. You're not winning them over. That's not to say they don't like you, but in terms, that's a fail on making impression. So you can't. Force is the wrong word, but you can't like win them over.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Their opinion of you stays the same as what they were before.
Yeah.
Which is not to say they dislike you, but
31.
that doesn't seem like they seem like they have very,
High expectations.
high expectations.
Almost as high as we've
Fixed
done.
opinion.
Fixed opinions, very fixed opinions, very
No.
firm beliefs, very solid of mind.
Stubborn.
Absolutely.
So, might I ask, What you said your leads are run dry. What leads have you had in the past?
So it says again, we knew that Merlin, we knew that on the day that the strife of Camlin ended, when the castle of Pendragon was attacked, we knew that Merlin came to the Erzatz University the day after. We knew he stayed there for one night, and then he vanished. We don't know why he went there, we don't know who he spoke to, but I am certain there is something in that university that will point us in the next direction.
Mordred will say, when we last spoke to Mother Gothel, she told us to seek out Dean Maricosa.
And you see nods and says, I have spoken with the dean many times. Maricosa was the head of the institution when this happened, of course, but claims to them. You see, turns to you and says, Darian, if Merlin has contacted you, if Merlin has given you this information, as premonitions, then perhaps the secrets will reveal themselves to you.
I guess that means I need to go to Reeds.
You see nods and says, luckily we are directly beneath it. There's an elevator that can take you there in only a few hours.
Did we want to do that, or did we want to sort the local trouble first?
Local trouble.
And you see, I'm going to say you said aloud because the house then says, and that's where we come to the local problem. The lift is not currently running.
Oh, there you go.
Sounds like a really long staircase back up, and it's a 10-hour lift ride.
Yeah.
So it says, you know, there are stairs, there are other paths you can take. It will take a day or two's travel. You are 10 kilometers under the surface.
Well, I know a thing or two about architecture. How we fix this?
You see, you see, it says,
Fix the problem.
it's not entirely correct to say the elevator isn't working. The people who operate the elevator are not currently working.
Did
Maybe
you
you're
give
not
them
paying them enough.
Yeah. Did you give
Are
them the
they
10-minute work?
are the lift operators in a union?
You see, he says,
Says Drizella from the
10-minute
chair.
break, yeah.
you see, he says the lift operators are in a union.
Yeah.
The lift was recently sold to a different owner who attempted to undermine the union.
Ah.
They have all quit,
Yeah.
and the new workers cannot work it properly.
Do they have
Yeah.
little red hats?
So he shakes his head and says, no, they're hardened fishermen.
my God.
The lift also makes up the steamboat, partly owned by our hosts.
I see. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we
Ownership
could come up to
problems.
some kind of-
Sacking the established workers who know what they're
Head of the
doing
Makers Union.
for a cheap labour
From
that
union
knows
to
nothing.
union. Yeah.
You see, he nods
Yeah,
and
we can do
says,
some
the
kind
Proud
of
Mary, as it was called, was bought by Spade Shipping. You would know that Spade Shipping,
was
you've
the-
met the people who own that. That's
Yeah.
Lord and Lady Pikes from Beast King's Ball.
Yes.
You see, they bought it recently. There was a strike last season, and they undermined the workers, brought in scabs, and now they can't operate the lift. The ship still runs across the river, but it won't run to the surface. From what we've heard, 4 of you should be able to sort something out.
Sure.
Hopefully.
We can try.
Once the lift is working again, once the boat can rise up to the surface, so it sounds like there's a river underground, and the boat can rise up to it. Once the boat can elevate again, then we will be able to return to Dreams. You can speak with Dean Maricosa or investigate the university as you like. He says, or you can take the stairs and head straight up there.
Just for the party's sake, not in game. I'm not showing the dagger.
Pardon? You're
I'm not showing the dagger.
Dagger. Oh yeah, right.
That can be my secret.
Cool. I'm not showing the sword, so.
Because I assume it's like a tell me where Merlin is kind of thing. But I could be wrong.
I'm really sorry. What dagger?
Dame Gothel gave him a dagger with an insignia we didn't recognise. A sheath.
Yes.
To give to Dean Maricosa, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Dean Maricosa's. Yes, the dagger for Dean Maricosa. Lovely. I don't know what that is. I thought you had a second dagger that I'd given you ages ago, and I was like, oh god, what item is that?
No, my
Lovely.
crown of intelligence isn't that good.
Wonderful.
Clearly. Getting stuck in the wall.
No, that's wisdom, not intelligence.
I don't know. I think it's, pretty dumb as a stomp to get stuck in a wall.
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of column A, a
My
little bit of
wisdom's
column B.
actually not terrible. It's a +2. I'm charismatic and I'm intelligent.
You were charismatically stuck in a wall.
You see.
You broke a wall.
You see Astaris says,
I am a good one.
if you wanted to speak with the old workers, the vast majority of them are drinking in the Rusted Anchor just across the waterways. Their old captain is Ahan Bittershaper.
Once again?
Ahan, A-H-A-N,
Yeah.
Bittershaper.
Bittershaper.
Ahan
These
Bittershaper.
names are on point.
I'm a fan of Oggins. Oggins Mooks.
Oggins, it's
Just a small aside.
Yeah.
During that last fight we had,
Yeah.
I realised that the cantrip I took for Aristotle is not what I thought it was.
okay.
Would you mind if I replaced it since I
Yeah, of
haven't
course.
used it yet?
Yeah,
It's Protect Companion, which only protects Aristotle and not a companion like I thought it
I
did.
thought that might be awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
So I'm never going to put him in combat. So it's
fair
like
enough.
a useless cantrip.
So we're gonna go sort out the union business?
Oh, we'll try. If both sides are willing to come to the table, then I'm looking to mediate. But
No. Fuck
If we're
the
gonna
owners. The workers need right.
what I'm saying is, if the owners aren't going to pay the workers more and meet them halfway, then they can go fuck themselves.
Good. We're in agreement then.
Yes.
No union busting. There's so much law this session.
There's so many cantrips. It's insane. Like this.
I feel it's so much more every time.
Oh my god! I can
This-
take
this
it from
is-
any spell.
It's a lot.
Jesus.
What'd you say?
It still seems a lot for any session. Every session.
Yeah.
You see, Astaris says, do we have would you be willing to help us out?
Yes.
Wonderful. I was hoping that was the case. I spoke with Mother Gothel, and we have collected some gifts for you.
Are these the gifts?
No. Dean.
Okay.
Yeah, full bit.
A comfortable bed and a good night's sleep.
Yes, that would
Excellent
be
starting
the
point.
first
You
gift I
see, he
would like.
says, our host has prepared a gracious dinner. On that note,
Gracious dinner.
the Magsons are very willing to help us, but do not know exactly what we do and who we are, and we
Yeah.
all appreciate it to keep it that way.
Okay.
I think they think we're freedom fighters of some kind, which is not wrong, but I think they think we're not who we are. They've never asked, we've never said, everyone stays happy. Is that an alright for you?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to keep who you are secret.
Exactly. That one took me a second.
Mordred says this completely earnestly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so dumb. Can someone else at this table explain to me why it's the 11th eye? Like 11, this symbolism behind it.
It's
Because it's not the Knights of the Round Table, right?
no,
They
it's the
were-
mirror. It's about the mirror Veritas, which was said to be split into.
Is it 11 pieces?
Yes. Or were there
No.
11 staves?
So there's
To protect
so a long time ago there was a great and ancient creature
You
that
missed
was
the
slain
A long time ago in
in a land far
yeah,
in a land not very far from here, and at a time very long ago. A great creature was slain, a creature that carried 11 eyes. 10 of the eyes were taken and made into powerful stars.
Is the Staff of Beguiling one of them?
Yes.
Is the 11th eye, the greatest that sat in the middle of the great creature, was turned into the mirror.
Oh.
And
So
the staff that they carry, do I believe that those are also stars?
Hard to say just by looking at it.
Are we still in the same room as them? We are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, if you
Can
want
I can I show them the Staff of Beguiling
Yeah, absolutely.
and say, I assume I know the story in character.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, you're a you're a wizard. You would know of the,
Yeah.
the stars.
Are your staves also of the 11 eyes?
And you see they both nod.
And do they recognise the Staff of Beguiling?
And you see Amelia says, I was not sure if we'd see that one again. You see, shows hers, and she says, I carry the staff of action.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Astara says, I carry the staff of insight.
Action and insight.
This is so much more.
How many of the 11 staffs do we know where, like, of the 10, do we know that where they are?
You see, they say, in this order's peak, we held all 10. One of them, obviously, you hold here. We have 2. We know of another 3. The rest of us.
Are they
The
held by
4.
people within the order?
And you see Osiris kind of shamefully shakes his head and says, they have fell from our grasp.
And how many are left in the order?
There are 4 we don't know.
No, sorry, how many people?
I left in the order.
Yeah.
And you see the 2 of them kind of look around the room and say, and you see there's a moment of kind of uncomfortable silence as you see Amelia then says, it is who you can see, Mother Gothel if you count her, and then a few friends we have that help us now and again.
Selman Carwise?
Yes. You've met him?
When we were at the Beast King's ball, he slipped us a note.
Of course. Yes. We pay him no small amount of money, and he helps us with our transport needs.
And you said you've only met Merlin once. Has anyone...
You
So
see,
no one in
you
the...
see Amelia says, Osiris has met Merlin once. I worked with him for some time.
Okay,
My
so okay, so at least one of the order has a serious amount of knowledge of them.
And you see she nods quite pointedly
Mhm.
and says, yes. I was able to work under him when I was a young age.
Can I ask?
Mm.
Actually, I wouldn't know this, but I'm going to remind you as a player. Is this the same Krex, Osiris Krex, that we know went missing because there was a note signed by Osiris Krex and Darian recognised the name?
When was that?
When was that? Jesus.
Sorry.
I don't remember that. I mean, it sounds
Well,
familiar, but I can't remember it.
I've got a different name written down, but it's very similar. I've got Crestus Rex written down, but it sounds very similar. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that was the piece of paper that they passed us.
Sid Christus Rex.
Which says, we will be watching, signed Crestus Rex, and then you recognise that as someone who had disappeared just before Merlin disappeared.
I'm going to be honest, I have no memory of that. I'm going to retcon the whole thing.
Okay, I'll delete it from the summary.
When did that happen? Like, what session?
At Hastings Ball. After Sneeden did the whole
Oh!
Love Sneeden.
No, we're going to retcon that.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
I
alright.
was just like, is this guy pretending to be
Gosh.
someone? Or, yeah.
I'm going to ask them.
Do you having
Do you
an
guys happen to
advanced
have-
conjecture moment?
Yeah.
Any
like it.
of Merlin's research?
There
or
were a
his
lot of people
library
showing
books?
off at that ball talking crap.
Amelia says, only the stuff I helped him with.
May I
I mean,
look at any of it as I rest this afternoon?
You see she nods and you see she says, I have some copies I've kept here. Much of his work is also at the university. But you see she gives you a couple of guides. Since they were researching they were researching the way that cleric spells can change over time. The way that, a certain order of clerics might have one kind of magic at one point and then different sorts later on.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's almost like they, I'm just getting random vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Malachi vibes.
Yeah, Malachi vibes too. Yeah. I will be like fanboying over like every word. Very weird for Darian to care about anything, and especially with this much concentration.
Does anyone have any other questions for these two? You see, as the kind of conversation lulls, you see Osiris says, Oh, forgive me. Sorry, Clara as well. And points to the very quiet, sort of like 17-year-old who's been watching this entire thing just from the balcony, quietly.
Noticing a fellow teenager, Mordred just gives a little wave. That's unnerving.
As he says, not under his breath, but just kind of matter of factly, a very gifted mage, but troubled in some ways.
Does she look like Morgana?
No.
Okay, good.
She's far too kind in the face.
Okay, good.
Oh, good.
Sorry, you just
I was
used the
having-
phrase "a very gifted mage" to describe Morgana 3 times, and I'm like,
Very gifted mage.
And
It's
how did-
troubles, and I was like having thoughts of the kid that I roasted.
Oh.
Yeah. You see Astara says she unfortunately is cursed and cannot sleep.
Oh.
That's rough.
And how did she come by the order?
So she says, we found her years ago. She was on a small island off the coast of Avalon. We were searching for some lost artifacts. What possible connection did you make there? Sorry, I'm making this up on the spot. I'm so confused.
well, Queen Maeve's daughter went missing off the coast of
Oh,
Avalon.
that's true. Anyway, we found her off the coast of Avalon.
Let's retcon that one as well.
no, that's still canon. We found her off the coast of Avalon.
It can be a conjecture now until disproven.
10, 15 years ago? Some time ago when she was a child.
Mordred wants to talk to this person immediately. We share many things in common. So you were found too.
Deadbeat mums.
You also can't sleep. Oh my god.
Can I do a twisted? What? How do you say that word?
I can't say it.
Tuath
Tuath?
de Donna.
Tuath de Donna.
Tuath de Donna.
Alright, can I
Or
do
Tuath
a
de Dances.
twisted on in my head check
Mm.
and see if the personalities of these two individuals matches
Yeah, sure.
even remotely of any of the
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
stereotypes? I don't know what.
And you see, talking about her, you see the woman just turns into this dark vapor, moves down, and then reforms on the bottom floor.
Ooh. What check would that be?
Religion, definitely religion.
Religion.
Yeah, it's absolutely
Yeah,
religious.
12.
They're both wizards. Magus wizard. That's about as far as you get.
You're Magus.
No, I'm the Magus. You can't have more than one Magus, so I think you cannot.
Can I ask?
They're not avatars.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I'll ask them.
Because I'm the avatar.
What?
Yeah, that's
I
what
am
I'm
the
getting
avatar.
from the 12 that I just rolled. Yeah.
But when the world needed him most, he vanished.
You're
No,
famous. I'm the real deal.
Fagus. Yeah, you
I'm
Fagus.
the goat.
Mordred's
What bridges are you burning?
OG.
Sorry.
All bridges.
Yeah, clearly.
There are no
Can the
bridges.
real Fagus please stand up?
We are now isolated on a tiny island, surrounded by a fiery lake with
Surrounded
no
by
fucking
burnt
bridges.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Mordred's gonna say, do you know
With a
anything about
tentacle.
the avatars? Mother Gothel spoke of them.
And you see Stylus says, doesn't chuckle, but kind of, I'm not convinced. You say, Amelia kind of looks you over, looks Bigby over, looks Darian over, looks Drizella over, and doesn't say anything, but gives you kind of like a knowing look almost for a moment or two.
So who said they're not convinced?
Astyrus.
But Astyrus was the one who found all the roots.
Found all the...
What wasn't Astyrus the one that found all the ways?
Oh no,
And
Titus did. Titus.
Titus.
Titus did.
Titus found the
Okay.
Fae Trials. Not that the Fae Trials are directly connected to the Avatars.
No, but there's like each one kind of branch of one is like kind of like a named after. Yeah.
But that could just be like a
Religious
named
focus
after a
focus.
fantasy
Yeah.
player. I don't know.
In the same way that star signs are named after constellations are named after gods, but it doesn't actually mean that
Yeah,
you
but
believe
no,
it's
it
not, like, I
totally
think that's
believes
it.
that we Trust me, I'm a Pisces through and through. I mean, Aquarius. Depending on whether you count 12 or 13, it's just.
Do anyone have any other questions for either Astyrus, Amelia, Titus, or Clara before?
Oh, I'm gonna talk to Clara on my own if I can.
You see,
have a little cute tape.
you see Astyrus
Yeah.
says,
It's romantic.
Continue the
No.
back in line.
That would be a powerful union.
That would be powerful.
the darkest hair you've ever seen. Put the two of them.
Well, that's like what finally creates peace between Avalon and Shannon.
Oh yeah, because she's the missing.
That would be funny.
This is funny. Unfortunately, Mordred's story is too tragic
It's,
to
it's
involve
like what the
romance.
Beast King's ball should have
Mordred,
been.
get over your trauma. We're going to create world peace.
We're going to
Marry
create
it.
world
I don't want to marry anyone.
We're going to create world peace.
You didn't want to hold your sword
Of
either.
two
You
orphans.
didn't.
Done and done.
We're just arranging this marriage. You don't even trust me.
You see, Astyrus says,
It's the best way to know death. you could
dinner should
possibly
be
do.
served in about 2 hours. Please make yourselves at home here. There are rooms in the east wing. There are bathing houses and medical supplies and anything.
Oh,
you
we
could
all
need.
need a bath.
I want to
You've
talk
been
to Clara.
dragged underwater like 15 times.
Didn't they say they
Yeah,
had
I
gifts
must
for
do.
us?
Yes.
I actually gave you the gifts when we did the Mother Gothel set, so they don't have gifts because I've already given you the items for this level. So I don't know what that was.
Keep wiggling.
Did you try to like slide that one through?
I was hoping you just wouldn't notice. The gift is, you see when Darren
Gold.
you see
We
he
need
says
gold.
the gift is friendship.
Mordred goes, yeah.
The gift is a bath.
Do you ask for gold?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we don't do
We might
shit
need-
for free.
I mean, monetary finances. We don't really get gold from people. We get random magic items.
You see, he says we have a modest treasury we can draw from to help our members. Do you have a sum in mind, or do you just need what we can spare?
Just what you can
5
spare.
G's a piece.
I don't know what's
Gold pieces.
like relevant for our living.
We really don't need anything. It's fine.
Oh, we totally do. I need to buy some things. I need to buy potion supplies so I can make damn potions for all of us.
We need to all have the expeditious treat potion next time.
You see, he says I could spare 200 silver each.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah?
I was going to say 5. 5 gold.
Mordred rejects.
Sounds good.
Silver.
Oh, well, I'll take hers.
Here's,
Sorry. Keep saying.
you see,
You could have spent it on a nice date with your girlfriend.
Oh, sorry.
You're not going to get one if
I-
you speak
I
like
can't
this.
wait
and
till
go
you
chat
talk
to
to
her.
this person because they're the most creepy, off-putting NPC I've tried to write. Anyway,
We're just too
Yeah, well-
young to understand how useful
He's
this
got
relationship would be. We're just shipping him.
I'm glad to
you're,
see
you're
this
very
shipping
used to
sticker.
creepy women though.
How many silvers are gold?
100, I think.
100.
Maybe
So it's like $2.
Sure, but also
Oh, I thought they
the
were
base. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20. I don't know. Put in 200 silver and it'll convert it if you need to.
Mordred won't
The
take
base
it.
currency in Pathfinder is silver, so it's like a week's accommodation is like a silver piece. So gold is only from
So it's quite a
it's
substantial.
quite a bit of money. Yeah. That's like 200 silver is a year's pay for a carpenter or a skilled worker.
Damn.
Hey, we're pros.
Yeah, 1 gold is 10 silver.
I mean, we can use that money maybe to help out with the strike.
Collect like the 800 you've just been given collectively is the sort of money you could throw around to bribe, a bunch of workers for a week or two. In terms of how else you could use
I
that.
was.
While they're getting the gold, can I talk to Clara?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you not want to go have a bar first?
No.
No matter how
you-
much I try to drill it to him, this one knows nothing about class. I'm going to go have a bar.
I'm gonna just like collapse in a heap on a bed somewhere.
Mhm.
And so
My
wake me
skin
up in
full.
2 hours to an attendant or something.
You go collapse in the bed. Drusella, what are you up to for good time?
free time, Drizella is going to wander around to see if there's any books about healing or diseases that she can essentially plagiarize into her treatise on diseases.
You find some stuff that's marginally relevant, some stuff about like healing techniques, that sort of thing.
She takes a bottle of wine and goes and finds a bed.
Fantastic.
She's going to take her serious wounds. She's not going for a bath because at the moment most of her skin will probably fall off, so she's probably just going to go and allow her wounds to sort of knit and congeal for a while.
We'll do Mordred. You walk up to Clara.
Hi there, I'm Mordred.
She kind of smiles at you and says, Clara.
When I talked to the others, they said that you also have trouble sleeping, and you were found as an orphan. I was found too.
Oh, where?
In the Brazilian forest.
And so she says, I've read about that. That must have been very scary.
It was okay.
You have trouble sleeping?
I do.
Do you sleep at all?
Yeah, it's more like constant nightmares and visions.
I'm very sorry about that.
What's it like not sleeping?
Tiring?
This character's like worse than the dude at the pool.
It's good to see someone else young. I spend all my time with other
Mordred's
adults.
flirting.
And you see she nods and says, me too. They're nice though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Do you trust them?
I think so, though I don't think they completely trust us.
They take a little while.
We
They
all
don't
do.
tell me everything.
My friends don't tell me everything either.
So she nods.
So do you have any hobbies?
She says, I like to read.
I do embroidery and just show. Mordred's just trying to make a friend. Can I make an impression?
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a diplomacy check to make an impression.
I'm going to use a hero point. I like this person. Oh, God. 30.
30?
Yeah.
That's a success. They move from neutral to friendly. You learn that their name is Clara Merce. They are a mechanically they're like a cleric, I suppose. They're bound to the man on the moon.
Oh.
Bound to the what? Sorry?
The man on the moon, one of the two of them.
Are you an avatar?
She said, an avatar?
Of a god?
No.
Right.
I think my parents were in a cult. I think I was promised.
That's okay. My mother was mad and evil with power.
Oh, we have a lot in common.
Who were your parents?
I don't know.
Me neither.
And you see that, and a few other bits and pieces you learn about them. Nothing major.
Yeah.
But it seems like, from the gist of it, their parents were in a cult, and often to make sort of bargains that you'll promise your firstborn. She is the firstborn.
Yeah.
Not entirely clear what happened. All right. Let's do.
Oh, just in passing, I'll say, well, if you want to ever hang out and do teenage things, we can. Okay, bye.
Painfully awkward.
Yeah.
Big B, as you are running a bath, you have the water going on, steam filling up the room. You hear a window open and close
Oh no.
In the bathroom? Or?
in the bathroom. So you've still got dressing robe on sort of thing. Water's just filling. There's indoor plumbing in here, which is incredibly fancy. And you hear someone sit down on like one of the on a step inside the bathroom.
Okay, is that like behind a curtain or something?
Smoke, like
Oh,
fog.
yeah, okay, yeah. I will slowly turn off the tap. And then I'm going to actually, I wonder if I can use my keen animal senses to see if I can gather something. Still, it's just going to find out where they are, which I can't know. Who's there?
And you hear a familiar voice say, "Hello, coward," as you hear the sound of your older brother.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
God. Why do you always have to get me in the worst scenarios?
You see, he says, "Then you remember what Dad told us when we first went out hunting? Always find someone unprepared."
Yeah, that's true. So what, are we going to fight again?
You kind of hear him pause for a second and say, "If you wanted to,
I'd rather not.
be ashamed to waste this chance."
What did you want to talk about?
And you see, he says, "Your friends, they're
Yeah.
not much good, are they?"
Well, they're idiots, but they're pretty good. I
Yeah.
like them.
I'm sure it's good to keep some people around to make you feel sharp.
Oh!
I'm
Well.
a child, okay?
Your sister and your brother are both assholes.
Oh, my brother's a real ass.
But in the same way, too.
Well, that wasn't my intention, but yes, I guess it does make me feel that way sometimes.
Yeah. Glad to hear you admit it.
So, what else do you have to say?
So he says, "Oh, I don't have anything. I just wanted you to know that I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay.
You're going to get a visit from someone soon. You should kill them before they speak too much. They're going to give your friends some bad ideas."
Who are you talking about?
You see, he says, "I don't know what name he's going to use when he talks to you, but he'll have one eye and white hair.
Okay.
One eye and white hair. You hear me?
Keep that in mind.
Kill him."
Why should I listen to you?
Just climbed up 4 stories and into a window to give you this advice. Sure aren't doing it because I like you. You hear the window open and you see, just the hand of them in a cloak and that sort of thing.
Wait, were you at the Beast King ball?
Say, "I'm everywhere," and duck down.
That's pretty cool.
What are you thinking?
I think he's a pervert.
Sorry.
He's always
That's not
dressing
what I
up
was
and
expecting.
spying on people, creeping up on people in bedrooms.
I think
thought
he's
you
an
thought
avatar
he
of
was
the
the reason
pilgrim.
he happened at the ball, and you're like, no, he was just a pervert.
Why?
He said, "I'll keep an eye on you."
That's a turn of phrase. Good
And
God.
he's looking at you when you're in the fucking shower.
That's why I'm saying what a pervert. He's my brother. Like, he's trying to pervert on his brother.
Next time he
He's
comes
trying
up
to
again
help
in the
you.
bar.
While you're running the bar, you're not undressed, you're not in the bar.
Yeah, you've got a towel
Still a
on.
pervert.
This is not a Witcher moment.
This is not a witch.
What the hell's he giving me advice for? I'll find out when I meet this one-eyed person with white hair.
Oh,
Uh, You all head down to dinner, which we won't roll for play through. You see Amelia and Astaris keep the conversation very, they don't talk shop at all. It's all very, have you seen that thing on in town? They do talk a bit about local gossip, and you hear about, there's a trial happening for a witch currently. There's this big debate in town about whether they should burn the witch. Which would be the first time in, 50 years that would have been done.
Is it illegal to be a witch in this town, or is it just that they did some dirty shit?
You see Ogson very matter-of-factly goes, no, a terrible, terrible thing. They were puppeteering many people, mind control, all sorts of horrible things.
Oh,
Sounds
Dark
familiar.
and
Very
evil
nasty.
magic.
very
Yes,
creepy stuff.
Indeed. But they're behind bars now, and it's mostly been solved. Talk, of course, a couple of people have been strange appearances, people dying in the streets, dropping dead, drowning on dry land. Poor Johnson, the butcher, was spinning round and round on the spot, up in the air, down, slamming into the ground. A terrible sight.
Sheesh.
If you ask me, that's dark magic, but
Who is this witch?
you see, it says they were independent. They weren't part of the covens or anything. I don't think I know their name.
I hope it wasn't our offer.
Posters and the protesters all just call them the witch. You see Amelia speaks up and says, her name's Goethe. You see Ogson. Oh, there you go. Well, Goethe's gotten herself in quite some trouble. The local wise woman apparently is all up in arms because it's proving that they can't contain a spellcaster, but of course they say they can, they say they can't. It's all just a big headache, really. Anyway, be careful if you're travelling late at night. Watch out for witches, he says almost as a joke.
Mordred shudders.
And you hear the other main bit of news is that there's a tourney happening in town. A great competition they talk about, the joust, the melee, an archery contest as well, and of course the mages' duels, which are always a sight to see.
Sick, I gotta get involved in that.
Yeah.
You see, Amelia says, I'll be heading over tomorrow to register if anyone wants to come with me.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm coming.
I'm interested to see how the mages of Reims are in the field.
I'll
So
probably
she says in a very stern, measured voice, but still.
Is there any sword fighting?
You see, Oggins nods and says, the melee's my favourite. Swords are any weapon, of course, but swords are the most common. So a fellow last year won with a mace. That was something to see. Smashed the sword out of his hands.
Maybe not.
It's all safe and all that. No one, well, very few people die. Only the idiots, really.
better watch out.
What was that?
You what?
Better watch out, then Mordred.
Goodness me.
Just because I've got an inch of +1, alright?
Awful.
And you died like 4 times in the canonically last day.
I've only died once in the last week. I've gone unconscious.
Oh, yeah. You got very close. Mind you, that was more my stupidity. And decided it was stupid to try to protect me.
Does anyone have anything they want to talk about with people over dinner? Questions you want to ask, that kind of thing, or do you just have a lovely evening and head off to bed?
Have a nice evening.
I need a
Yeah, I
rest.
think so.
You can take your rest, and then I think we might wrap up here just because it's a good spot, rather than starting something new and having to end in half.
Does my wounded condition go down?
Wounded condition drops 1 when you rest. But also, you're in a city, you're somewhere safe. You can take a day's downtime here if you want to get another 2 rests in, so that'll drop it another 2. It's up to you all, really.
Yeah, cool.
And then
Well,
just before we wrap up properly, what do you want to look at tomorrow in terms of those plot hooks that interest you? You've got the dock strike, the tourney, and the witch stuff.
Tawny witch.
Then
All the
then
hooks.
Strike.
The strike.
Strike first.
Oh, we can do that last because
Yeah,
I think you want to do the
that
tourney.
last. Yeah, because if we piss people off, we don't have to get out in a hurry.
Yeah, true.
Cool. So tourney,
Witch.
witch.
Yeah, I reckon
strike,
20
yeah.
first. Yeah,
Cool.
Hell yeah.
I'm not much of a fighter and more of a.
Well, mage.
Leader.
So the tourney, there's a joust, which is horse racing, and sticks and stuff. There's a melee. There's an archery contest, and then there's a mage's duel. So mages fighting mages.
Yeah, but I'm all mental. I don't actually have damage.
Yeah,
Target.
you've got fireball.
Apart from that, yeah. Apart from that fire damage.
Oh, I have 1. Yeah.
You don't know. You might be able to creatively do something like that.
Oh, and that's called the Tournament of the Rising Sun.
Ooh. I'd want to watch it. I don't because I have okay AOE, but most of my stuff's all mental manipulation.
And I think we will wrap up there.
Ooh, that was so fun.